Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to
Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
Well, OB, we got ourselves a busy couple of days coming up. A little baseball series starts tomorrow. Softball's obviously in action. We got a press conference later on today. Spring football in full swing. You'll be heading to practice here soon.
Right after the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be heading over there. Watch practice. I think they're going to have Marcel Reed and Anto Osaka. Is that how you say his name?
Both very good interviews. Very good interviews.
So looking forward to that.
Yep.
So it's going to be a busy day for me.
You familiar with your buddy?
You're dressed up.
I'm dressed up, yeah. Yeah, I got the maroon socks on, kind of maroon, pinkish maroon, I guess.
You got some brown and some maroon and some pink and some white in there.
Yeah, I got a press conference.
Yeah.
In a little while that I'll be going to. That I'm.
Pray tell, what could that be about?
Quote unquote moderating. The big soccer matches coming to town. They asked me a couple weeks ago if I'd moderate it. It sucks when you have breaking news and you got to sit on it because you're involved, you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of sad on this one, but I'm excited about it. The world's second best player of all time, Leo Messi, in Argentina coming to town. That's just for Cooper and the rest of the gang.
He's the second best player of all time?
He's probably the best.
I thought that Pele guy was.
Pele, I mean, we'll lose our audience if we go into a whole Kevin Durant versus LeBron, Michael LeBron, Messi versus Pele or Ronaldo, but he is the face of soccer right now, Messi. And I think Ronaldo would be in the top 3 or 4 of that conversation. But Argentina won the World Cup a couple years back.
I remember, didn't they have that Maradona guy when they won?
Diego Maradona.
And he's not in the conversation either.
He's in the, I mean, there's a top 5, top 10 list.
I would have to talk to a group of soccer experts.
Fernando Palomo.
Fernando Palomo, isn't he wouldn't he be from El Salvador?
No, but he's the voice of soccer for ESPN.
So get him.
Rumor has it he might be around town.
I hope so. Yeah. I like those Palomo brothers.
But, you would have to add, my soccer history acumen is the last 20 years of really watching, and really less than that. But so I have a hard.
Sounds to me like Pele's like the Babe Ruth of soccer.
Yeah, I mean, I have no argument. I mean, no beef if anybody says Pele's the best of all time. I didn't live during it. My buddy Juan says Diego Maradona at his best is the best he's ever seen play.
Well, I'd say the best would be George Best.
George Best, Manchester United, English national team. And you watched that documentary, didn't you?
Actually, no, because of course not. Way back in like 12-year-old Olin Buchanan followed, can't tell you why, but followed
international kickball?
The North American Soccer League.
Oh, okay.
And George Best played for the Los Angeles Aztecs.
Well, you know,
yes, I knew all the teams. I don't know why. The Dallas Tornado. Anyway, soccer.
I was going to do this in the second segment, but since we brought it up, OB, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Who are the highest performers to ever play or perform at Kyle Field? So when I say that, there hasn't been that many non-football. I mean, there's been track and field, obviously.
I'd say George Strait. He played at
George
Kyle
Strait
Field.
was on my list, absolutely.
I got to admit, I don't know if anybody was famous was in that soccer game last year. I don't know.
2 years ago, Vinny Jr. would probably be the most famous player. He plays for the world's greatest club, Real Madrid, from Brazil.
I wouldn't know that.
But Neymar did not play.
I'd say Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Football's on my list.
I would say Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett's on there.
I would say Von Miller.
He's on there.
So how many did you want?
I don't know. We're just talking. Just have a conversation.
Mike Evans.
So these are Aggies. What about
Richmond Webb?
What about non-Aggies? I put Nick Saban.
Yeah, Nick Saban there.
I put Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson played at Cal
I believe he played at Cal Field. Fact check me on that. I might be wrong. Maybe
I know they played in the Cotton Bowl.
Maybe it was the Cotton Bowl. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, I thought they played once here. But okay, so Bo Jackson might be off.
Joe Burrow,
yeah.
any number of those LSU guys. Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you Derrick Henry took the biggest hit of his entire career at Kyle Field, even in the NFL. Justin Evans?
Mm-hmm.
Just nailed him.
Did we say Dat win on this list?
Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some of the people that come to mind that played against the Aggies at Kyle Field.
Yeah.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Vince Young's got to be on there, right?
Vince Young would have to be on there. Ricky Williams.
I do love, or I don't know if love's the right word. I do really enjoy Kyle Field as a second venue for events, right? I kind of like it.
I'm all for it. I think you should do. You spent $1 billion. I'm exaggerating. Renovating that stadium. Why are you going to use it 7 or 8 times a year? That makes no sense to me. So, bring in concerts, bring in international games.
What? Okay, so we know concerts would do well. George Strait.
Yeah, depending on who does the concert. Yeah.
International soccer. I think the Savannah Bananas are coming. That's at Kyle Field, right, Cooper? All right about that? They're coming here soon.
Okay.
What else would do really well at Kyle Field?
Well,
a comedian would. I don't think there's a comedian that would fill that.
It'd have to be somebody like Dave Chappelle,
Chris Rock.
I think Chris Rock's ship is sailed.
That was like 20 years ago.
It'd have to be the best of the best, right?
Would Jerry Seinfeld fill it up?
Nope.
I don't think
so.
Yeah.
Maybe, again, 20 years ago, I once saw Jay Leno at Stephen F. Austin.
Yeah?
Yeah. It wasn't nearly, probably 10,000. So, it would have to be the greatest comedian. You'd have to almost bring Richard Pryor back from the dead.
I would probably go watch that anywhere.
Yeah.
That'd be just for the history.
Just the fact that he was once dead.
Resurrected.
Yeah.
Maybe we should move on from that. Anyway, we'll be talking about some of the events, hopefully, that, maybe we can think about. Would a boxing match at Kyle Field work? Or
depends on who it was.
There's nobody big now, right? Like
if Conor McGregor and
Manny Pacquiao? Mayweather?
Floyd Mayweather had Heather. Yeah.
At Kyle Field, yeah.
Yeah. That would have been huge anywhere.
If Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor fought today, but it was MMA, that would last 5 seconds.
I guess.
No opinion.
I don't know.
Randy said WrestleMania.
WrestleMania might.
Okay.
Yeah.
WrestleMania
would do well. I could see you on the front row of that, and then they throw somebody right by you on the table
with my Austin 316 shirt.
Yeah. Hey, let's get into some football. Your boy, I know you're dear friends with Shane Beamer. He was on ESPN talking about the Big Ten's rule of national titles, and he says the biggest difference is going to be the strength of schedule when comparing what he gave a lot of respect to the Big Ten, but I just kind of want you to react to a couple of his quotes. He says, I've got a ton of respect for that league, but I also think the biggest thing for us is when I say us, the SEC, the playoff committee going forward, is valuing the strength of schedule too, in regards to who has an opportunity to get into the playoff. If I'm not mistaken, that's 3 straight national champions that have not played a Power 4 team non-conference, and if I'm wrong about this, I apologize, but I think I'm accurate in saying that even Dan Lanning made some points about that as well. And he goes on to a longer thing. But basically, in the SEC now, they're moving to the 9 games, and most of them are taking on legit Power 4 teams in their non-conference.
Yeah, frankly, moving forward, and I know this would have to be 6 or 7 years down the line when all the, like A&M still has to play Louisville and still has to play Arizona State, for instance. But when those are done, I think save one of those dates for the SEC Big Ten Challenge. Right. Everybody wants to say who's the best conference, and then they look at the bowl games, which we talked about yesterday, which really doesn't tell you anything about a team because so many of the top players don't play.
Right.
But what if the second week of the season or the third week of the season was set up for the Big Ten SEC Challenge, and you maybe match up the teams the way they were the year before. Of course, then you'd still feel like so you'd play them 2 years in a row, I guess.
Yeah.
But you know what's the problem with that, though? You know what wouldn't happen? Because the Big Ten teams, for the most part, have been historically adamant. Now, things change in college football, so history doesn't always matter, right? But have historically been adamant about not playing in the South in
September.
In September. Even though now Ohio State did come down to Texas,
And they're coming down again?
right? So some will do that, but most Big Ten teams won't play in a southern climate in September.
Do you get it from their perspective?
I mean, what, you're afraid it's going to be hot?
Well, do you remember when
Oh my gosh, we're going to have to sweat.
when Notre Dame was coming here?
Uh-huh.
You know, one of the talking points, which was inaccurate, was, how is Notre Dame going to adapt to the heat? Because, and it was like 95 the whole week that they were preparing to come here. Like, it was, South Bend was hot.
People forget, like in places like Nebraska and Wisconsin, it gets really hot in the summer. It's just the difference is it gets really cold in the winter. So I think all that's all overblown. It's a convenient excuse not, to avoid some good opponents.
A little more from Shane Beamer. Again, Indiana won it. They're a hell of a team last season. We've got great teams in this league too. We need to worry about ourselves. I think it's tough, and Lane Kiffin said it. In some ways, 10-2, you're in, 9-3, you're out. We had a 10-2 team in this league last year that didn't get in, which is tough to see. Top to bottom, week in and week out, there's nothing like this conference.
I agree with that. I think top to bottom, it was without a doubt the strongest conference. You have more competitive teams, and when I say competitive, I mean teams that can go out and, like you said, had a 10-2 team. Vanderbilt didn't get in.
Right.
Texas beat Vanderbilt, and I'm glad Texas didn't get in. But you know why Texas didn't get in? Because they lost to Florida, an SEC team.
Yep.
Right? So, even the bad teams in the SEC are good. I reference, was it 2 years ago, that the worst team in the league was probably Mississippi State, and they beat the Big 12 champion Arizona State? Maybe that was that. I can't remember. I can't remember which year it was, but you remember.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. Yeah.
So, the people that ignore that are just the ones that want to.
Look, bottom line is I think the SEC is a deeper, better league, but they haven't had the best team in college football.
You know what?
The last couple of years.
I think this might be controversial. I think at least in the top echelon, I think the difference is right now that, and this includes Kirby Smart, I think that the Big Ten has better coaching.
Yeah, I think that's part of the conversation. Michigan obviously making a pretty big move this offseason.
But when they won the national championship, they had a great coach.
Yeah, they did. Ryan Day. I think he's elite, right? I know the people he gets straight. I think he's elite. Signetti's obviously elite.
A lot of people think the guy at Oregon.
Lanning, elite. Yeah.
So the top level, even
your boy Dry-Fit, Lincoln.
Yeah, I don't think he's one. But I really think James Franklin was better than he's given credit for, and he'll do a really good job.
I think he's going to do a really good job as well.
So then I say, well, who are the elite coaches in the SEC?
Kirby,
who is really elite recruiter, but has a tendency to make some of the most boneheaded decisions in games.
I think we have a bunch of coaches that are in that next tier, like right outside of elite.
I think Mike Elko may prove to be elite.
Yep.
Maybe he'll prove to be elite this year. I think Lane Kiffin's close.
Elite-ish,
but you still got to actually win something, right?
Sark, elite-ish.
Elite-ish.
Yeah.
But, they may be in the same class as Lanning.
Right.
You're hyped up and people respect you. But
do you put? Yeah, I put Lanning in the elite-ish. I don't think he's the elite.
So anyway,
what is Lincoln Riley? Honestly, like
national media love him for whatever reason. I guess because they don't eat brisket. But you got that right.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. But what has he actually done? He took over for Bob Stoops, a program that was just rolling.
Yeah.
And he had quarterbacks waiting on him. And he won in the Big 12. again, he just took over what Bob Stoops had done, and then he goes to USC, where USC you almost have to be incompetent not to be successful. Yeah. And you know what? He's been close to not being successful.
I was watching a clip on Twitter from Caleb Williams talking about his time at Oklahoma, and he said he was promised, or he expected and was promised to be the starter as a freshman when he got to Oklahoma.
Sounds like some other Oklahoma quarterback, eventual Oklahoma quarterback. I remember.
Spencer Rattler, though, was expected to be a first-round pick. Was the starter, and he was very upset. And that I think it was Ryan Clark who asked me, "But why'd you go there if they already had a starting quarterback that was going to be a first-round pick?" And he's like, "Because of Lincoln Riley, because he develops quarterbacks."
Well, I think
that was the perception for sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of people could have developed Kyler Murray. And quite frankly, I wonder just how much Spencer Rattler was developed.
Yeah.
We'll see about Caleb.
This is TexAgs Live.
It's TexAgs Live, brought to you by David Gardner's Jewelers.
We're in the Rollo Insurance Studio.
Jason, Jackson, Keith, and Morgan, and the family.
The family. The boys and the girls.
Yeah.
We are in we call this area what? The
Holistic Planning Cool Zone.
Yeah. It's very cool here. Actually, right now I don't feel any here.
Yeah,
I don't feel any here at all. Somebody turn it on. Sometimes it gets a little too cold too, though. So I just to have a personal thermostat for us. And if you want to call the show, you can do that by calling us on the what?
The Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline.
That number is 979-693-1150. You can also text us on the what?
The Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line.
979-693-1150. This hour, we labeled it a name. We call it the Go Hour.
Yeah, it's the Go Hour. It's brought to you by the Warehouse at CC Creations.
Our director is Nick Savage. So we go around the room, left to right, behind the glass, through the TV is Nick Savage.
Howdy, good morning, y'all.
Hey, buddy.
Happy ring day, by the way, to all the Aggies, young Aggies getting their rings today. Congratulations.
My niece
on
gets
that.
hers tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Yeah, today and tomorrow will be a madhouse in College Station, so it'll be fun. But to your question earlier, David, the best individual performances that I've personally witnessed at Kyle Field, and I went football, of course, because I haven't been to any other events other than a football game. I go back to Johnny Manziel, 2012, against Missouri. He went crazy. I was in the north end zone for that game as a young Aggie, and it was awesome seeing him play. And I remember he
touchdowns up close.
Yeah, and remember he, tweaked his leg or whatever in that game. I have never heard a stadium full of people that quiet. It was so like you could hear a pin drop from the third deck. And then, oddly enough, I was thinking about it. How about Zach Calzada against Alabama? Or you can say Devon Achane as well in that game when they upset them in 21, was it?
Yeah, it was 2021.
But the question was the great players.
The great performers.
And Zach Calzada had
a great performance.
A legendary performance, but he pretty much sucked every other time.
Sure.
But on that day,
I'm talking about that day.
He was Broadway Joe Namath. He was fantastic.
He was like Roy McElroy in Tin Cup. You know, his whole life he just wasn't that. I mean, he was good, but not good enough.
Good-ish.
And then that.
Yeah. He's but that performance though. I mean, legendary.
It was. And then he got hurt, and they thought he was out.
Yeah.
And then he came back and even ran for a first down. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. Let's go to the
Devon Achane was amazing that night.
Yeah,
too.
well, he might be one of the best high performers we've seen there. Angry Elephant News and Social Center, Cooper Patterson. Cooper, hello.
Howdy, good morning, y'all.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Nick, I think we were probably sitting next to each other at that game. I was at that same game in the north end zone with my uncle. I don't remember much about it, but I know I was there.
Was Missouri wearing the yellow uniforms that day?
No, they were wearing,
I think black.
Yeah, black.
Oh, okay.
They were wearing black.
I feel like
uniforms.
I was at that game.
I remember one of the Missouri defensive linemen actually had a hold of Johnny's leg there, but they probably snapped the ball around the 12.
Yeah.
And he wrestled his leg free and then spins around, runs, and of course, I can't remember who the receiver is, but he finds somebody wide open. And I remember the guy calling the game says, Manziel, of course he gets loose. Of course he does. Touchdown. Yeah. That was a magical year.
What do you have for us, Cooper?
Not only is it ring day, but among particularly college students and anybody who works a desk job, it's a very important day because the Masters is starting. So people in class at their desk will be watching the Masters instead of working. It's already teed off at Augusta National. Is that something y'all are going to be paying much attention to? Are y'all big golf guys? Y'all
I go through my phases where I pay attention and where I don't. I'll start paying attention I don't know, at some point. Would social media will capture my attention from it, and I'll be like, I got to check it out.
If I hear that on Sunday and they're in the last 3 holes and that it's a real competitive thing, of somebody I've heard of, I'll probably turn it on.
Was Rory last year?
Yes.
That was must-watch television.
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing.
I remember when I worked at the Statesman, we had a pool, where we had probably a couple $100 in it, and I was kicking back that year because I had Greg Norman in a 6-stroke lead.
You don't know about Greg Norman, do you?
I don't know anything about Greg Norman.
I had a 6-stroke lead and Greg Norman going into the last round, and I lost. And that pretty much sums up my whole life.
Greg Norman, the Shark, right?
The Shark.
Yeah, the Shark was known for being an elite, but not winning majors. Did he end up winning one?
I'm sure he did.
But he did.
I don't think he ever won the Masters.
But I feel a few times, didn't he? More than once he had the lead.
He choked.
Yeah, several times.
He choked constantly. He choked more than Chris Beard. I was talking about all the games that Ole Miss lost late this year.
How do we transition to barbecue?
Well, you know what? I didn't know it was time.
Don't go where you could go. Let's just go.
One time I was at 1775, and I might have taken too big of a bite. I was like, oh, and somebody gave me the Heimlich maneuver and some of that succulent brisket.
You put that right back in.
I put it right back in because it's that good.
It's delicious.
It's succulent. And you know what? I would have done the same thing if I'd been eating some of the amazing pork ribs or that tremendous jalapeno cheese sauce. I don't know if you could have that experience with the queso mac and cheese because, it's not the same consistency. But if it did, I would eat that again too.
Right. Yeah. It's delightful to go there.
Yes.
You should go Thursday through Saturday because they're open those days. They're not open on the other days. And when you go there, just get the sampler. Right? Sample it all.
Sample it all, the turkey, the pulled pork, everything else. Yeah, it's amazing.
The website is 1775txbbq.com. You can call them up, 979-492-6241. OB, it's 1775.
And it's good.
your jam right here?
I'm not a guy that listens to Guns N' Roses all the time, right?
Right.
But, I always thought that was a great tune.
Nick, is Nick there? No, that's Cade now. They did the old switcheroo. What would you say Guns N' Roses, it's not heavy metal.
Yeah, I think it would be.
Is it heavy metal?
I think so. That's how I would classify it.
I don't think that I would consider Guns N' Roses heavy metal.
My bad.
But
it's not.
I think like
it's metal-ish. I don't know what it is. What is?
It's kind of like the Pete Lanning of rock and roll.
I think when you get to heavy metal, like when you get to Metallica, it's heavy metal, right? Like
I kind of put them in the same group, but I
don't know. It's not my genre.
Okay, maybe it's a genre unto itself.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, somebody's listening right now, like Billy's listening right now, banging his head like, you guys are a bunch of dorks, don't know anything.
I don't know that.
Yeah, he's more of a Kanye guy. It's TexAgs Live.
Kanye East.
We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. OB, I don't know why it made me happy, but it made me happy.
What made you happy?
The SEC announcing the freaking interview order, not the order, but the days of SEC Media Day coaches. For me, it's just, maybe because it's going to be a cool town that we're going to.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to this SEC Media Day experience. And also the fact that Mike Elko won't be speaking on the last day.
Yeah, but he's next to the last. Why can't I ever get a break and Mike Elko be the first guy on the first day, and then I'll have columns ready on A&M every day, and by the last day, I don't have much to do. Yeah. But no, I got to come up with a different column that A&M fans might be interested in for the first 2 days. And then I'm fine on Thursday and Friday, or I guess it'd be Wednesday and Thursday.
So I want us to rank the days of interest, okay?
All right. Number 1 is day 3.
Monday, July 20th, you've got Kentucky, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. Will Stein.
That's 4th.
Yeah, I can tell you that. Josh Heupel, Brent Venables, Eli Drinkwitz. Okay, day 2, Tuesday, July 21st. Auburn, Georgia, South Carolina, Vanderbilt.
That's pretty interesting. First of all, Auburn's never boring because they're the drama queens of college football.
Yeah.
Clark Lee, I mean, you got to respect him and say, well, what does Vanderbilt have to say? You said Georgia.
Yep.
So
it's a good day.
Yeah, it's a good day.
Wednesday, July 22nd. This is a really good day.
Yeah, it's a really good day.
Kalen DeBoer, Alabama.
Uh-huh.
Florida, John Summerall, Ole Miss, Pete Golding, and Texas A&M's Mike Elko.
Yeah, that's number 1. Number 2 is going to be Friday.
Let's go through that.
Or Thursday. Number 2 is
Thursday, July 23rd. Arkansas, Ryan Silverfield.
Mm-hmm.
They had to fill a spot.
Don't care.
LSU, Lane Kiffin.
Ding, 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 ding.
You've got Mississippi State, Jeff Levy. And Texas's Steve Sarkisian.
Yeah, that's that. So Sarkisian and Lane Kiffin, for most, I would venture to guess for at least half of the SEC fandom. Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody, not just fans of the teams, but that might even be one, because Sarkisian, people are going to hype his team as being a national champion, and then Lane Kiffin. If you removed any of your loyalties, but I don't remove my loyalties. So anytime you're going to have Mike Elko and Alabama going on the same, and then the coach from Florida.
I love him.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
his interviews are great, I should say. And I think Pete Golding is interesting because
the way he's trying to cheat.
Well, I mean, the way he's trying to keep up and cheat.
Well, cheating may be too strong, but he's been called out by Dabo Swinney for tampering.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. So number 1, the most interesting day will be Wednesday. The second most interesting day will be Thursday, saving the last 2. And then I think the third interesting, number 3 is Tuesday, and then Monday they're going to start off.
You could almost go in reverse order, right?
Yeah,
almost. Like I prefer July 22nd, the Wednesday, because of Coach Elko. I don't know if Kalen DeBoer says that much.
No, but here's a guy who could win 9 games and get fired.
Right.
He could win 9 games and get fired. Would it surprise you if they went 9-3? Would that surprise you if they went 9-3 this year? And if so, if he got fired, would that surprise you?
All right, so let's do this. I want to go through each day. You tell me who the best team, record-wise, will be from that cluster.
Okay, first one is Oklahoma.
Okay, Oklahoma, best team between Kentucky, Missouri, Oklahoma, Tennessee. Day 2, Auburn, Georgia, South Carolina, Vandy. Georgia.
I would say Georgia.
Day 3. This is the interesting one. Bama, Florida, Ole Miss, A&M. It's either A&M or Ole Miss, in my opinion.
Here's what I'm going to say. Again, I would need to talk to someone from Alabama to tell me why Alabama is going to be as good as they were last year. I can't see it. So I would say A&M. What if both teams lost one more game than they did last year? Then A&M has a better record. They're 9-3 compared to 8-4.
Right.
So I will say A&M.
Arkansas, LSU, Mississippi State, Texas. It's probably Texas.
Yeah, probably Texas.
Okay. Who? Just we should probably hit a break here because Stephen McGee's going to. But who do you think A&M will have show up?
I think they'll have Marcel Reed.
Yep.
Which will end the long stretch of not having a
quarterback.
They always have an offensive lineman.
Mark Naboo, right?
And this might be the year they don't have an offensive lineman.
Maybe.
If you went by talented players, I'd say Mario
Craver's got to be
and
there.
And then a defensive player would be a great defensive spokesman. I don't think it'd be a transfer.
Could be Sanford.
Damian Sanford.
Damian Sanford, maybe.
That could be. Marco Jones? No, he hadn't done enough yet.
Dalton Brooks.
Dalton Brooks or Ratcliffe.
Yeah. All right. Let's hit a break. We'll come back. Stephen McGee will join us. I think I see him in the background. Right now, Ground Shuttle, they offer frequent and reliable shuttles from Bryan College Station to George Bush Intercontinental Airport. OB knows when we have to travel out of Bush, it's a disaster. Like, we got to leave the show early. We got to record segments. We get in the car.
Hope we'll have a parking space.
Hope we have a parking space. There's been times, this has actually happened. It was at Bush, right? Where they didn't have a spot for us.
That we had
paid
reserved.
for, prepaid, right?
Yeah.
Or pre-reserved. No, sorry, we don't have one. And then we had to park like at the parking spot, and we were almost late, and we had to drop. It just, don't deal with it. Let the Ground Shuttle folks take care of you. They'll get you right there. They have 9 shuttle times every weekday, every hour and a half during the week, and then 5 shuttle times on the weekends. Great for business travelers or maybe even students trying to get back home. They're right in South College Station by Caso de Brazil. You can book any of their vehicles to their fleet to accommodate your group size for any charter service you're looking for, and they seat up to 14 passengers. It's just very easy. Let them do all the driving for you. It is Ground Shuttle, a local company. Camilo runs it. He's fantastic. It's easy to book your shuttle online at groundshuttle.com or call them up, 855-303-4415. Ground Shuttle, let them do the driving. And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Stephen McGee joining us, as he always does on Wednesdays, brought to you by Paragon Financial Advisors. He's our QB1 and your financial quarterback at Paragon Financial Advisors, helping you call the right place for your financial future. So would you like me to get you a margarita with your meal today, with the way I'm dressed?
Yeah, if only radio had a video for those streaming, obviously you can absorb what I'm looking at this morning. But OB's got like extra hair product.
Well,
and then
this is like my old life.
Nuño, you're going to go preach this morning at some service, or what's going on here?
Yes, sir. There's a press conference for your favorite sport, soccer, across the street. They're going to announce a game that we announced before the press release came out. Argentina is going to be playing against Honduras. And so Messi, you've heard the name Messi, should be playing across the street here in June.
You know,
that's cool.
The wife.
Neat deal.
I'm helping
the Bad Bunny doing the halftime
Now
show?
that would fill up Kyle Field. That would absolutely fill up Kyle Field.
OB, would you go to Bad Bunny?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't go to a Bad Bunny or Horrible Hair or Rotten Rabbit or Lousy Lamaforth.
Hey, what kind of product did you use this morning?
I don't know. This
he's a pomade typically, right?
You're
I don't know what it is. But
are you a gel guy? Like an LA gel? Do you remember that product?
Of course I do.
No, it's the pomade, I guess.
Is it like a waxy?
It's just this. What's funny is my wife sent me a text. I showed Steve, and it was saying your hair looks crazy. So of course it does. This one, see, it's got this. I think it's the. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this.
Let everybody see you do your hair.
This is
do it.
This is kind of like
Give him a little tip.
This is kind of like the modern version of Brill Cream.
Oh, he went 3 fingers.
Do you
Just for
guys,
those out there listening.
I always do. Always get 3 fingers in there. And
mix and how do
you ever remember Brill Cream?
Pardon?
Or you guys are too.
This reminds me of a scene about something about Mary.
Are you guys too?
But please proceed.
You guys are too young to
Pearl
remember.
Cream? I know Pearl Cream.
Brill Cream. Brill Cream, a little dab will do you. You're too young for that.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the.
You look like a 1950s like biker gang guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
the leader of the biker gang.
Yeah, that's the look I'm going for.
You know who he reminds me of now is the Illinois head basketball coach.
Oh,
you know what I mean? With the
Brad
slick back.
Underwood.
What's his name?
I had a guy yesterday who told me I looked like Mark Twain. I like that.
Sure. Never seen him. Never seen the photo of him.
Of Mark Twain?
Love him.
Wait,
Yeah.
You've never seen Mark Twain's photo?
Mm.
Interesting.
I just picture like Albert Einstein.
kind of similar. Me and Einstein, we have a lot in common.
What do you have in common with Einstein?
Bagels.
Shall we talk about quarterbacks in college football? Einstein bagels. Delicious. It always goes a different direction.
Wait,
Did you guys do this during the game era too? Just go random directions?
1,000%.
Okay.
We were never on topic, never talked about sports, and got threatened almost every day by someone or something, or threatened somebody or something.
Yeah.
It goes both ways.
So,
like Highway 6.
This is true. CBS Sports has their top quarterbacks, right? And they have the SEC having the best quarterbacks in college football as of right now, with the Big Ten slightly behind them. But the top two quarterbacks on their list, Dante Moore and Julian Sayin, followed by Arch, by the way. We'll get to Marcel in a minute. Trinidad Chambliss, number 4, and I'll give you number 5. It's Darian Mensah, the Miami quarterback.
Excuse my naivety here. Trinidad Chambliss did not get granted another year of eligibility.
No, he did. It's Joey Aguilar who did that from Tennessee.
Interesting. Why did I miss that headline?
That's a big story. Wasn't it?
So he's back?
He was initially said he couldn't, and I guess he appealed, and then they got the appeal. Trinidad Chambliss will be quarterbacking Ole Miss this year.
Wow.
That makes a big difference.
That makes a big difference. When did that happen?
I didn't write the
maybe like a
down,
month after.
A month or two ago.
All right. Yeah, I remember reading that the appeal was denied.
Yeah.
Hell of a player.
Yeah. Hell of a finish, right? I mean, he was fantastic in the postseason in the last few games.
Yeah, I like his game. Dante Moore.
Coming back for another year.
Very toolsy player. I love Dante Moore at Oregon. I know you're not as big on him.
No, I get it. I see all the hype for him, but does he ever really live up to it? Yeah. Does he? It's a question.
I don't know.
I mean, because people are saying that if he comes out in the draft, he could have been the first player taken.
I think he has that ability that NFL teams clamor over. He can move, he can run, he's got the size, and he can make all the throws. A lot to develop. Julian Sayin is probably my favorite quarterback in the game. And I thought he didn't do as great down the finish against better defenses under pressure. But his game is my type of quarterback play that I love. I think he's accurate, decisive, and on time. I think that translates to a guy that can play a long time in the NFL. Like, that's the skill set of the guys that last forever.
Yeah.
And with good wide receivers, I think he could take a huge step. What was he last year? Was he a redshirt freshman last year?
What, saying?
Yeah.
He had really good receivers last year.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He has really good receivers.
Yeah.
What was he a freshman last year?
Yeah. He was a redshirt freshman, right?
Redshirt.
Yeah.
You got to remind ourselves of that sometimes. I mean, it's pretty impressive. First year starter.
He was actually a sophomore last year.
He was a sophomore?
Okay.
All right.
Number 3 on the list, Arch.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure I'm putting Trinidad Chambliss first on that list, but
I love Trinidad.
Look, I think Arch proved it I think Arch was a victim of media hype last year. And they built him up so much, like Feinbaum saying, the best guy since Tim Tebow, which I think there's guys better than Tim Tebow since I would have taken Joe Burrow over Tim Tebow 100 times out of 100.
I would take probably 10 quarterbacks a year in college football over Tim Tebow. I've never understood that narrative. But
writers liked him, so that's all. But anyway, Arch proved it. You don't have to like him. You don't have to like. I mean,
it was good.
There's no reason not to like him, other than that he plays for Texas.
I agree. Your Arch Manning, the last 6 games or whatever down the stretch, was a different football player than Arch Manning was at the beginning of the year. I thought he took a huge step under pressure, under criticism, and I like his game. Stacking him up in this list, I don't know where he's going to ultimately fall. I think they're talented around him. I think he has a lot of ability.
He's got 2 top wide receivers around him.
He's always had good receivers, though.
And that system, I love their offensive system.
I'd have no problem putting him in the top 5. And probably 4 or 5. Chambliss might be my number 1.
I love Trinidad Chambliss.
Now, he's not going to have Lane Kiffin calling his plays all year. And that might be a different. What I like about Trinidad Chambliss is he's a quarterback who can run, right? And he seems to know when to run.
When to run, yeah.
Which is what our quarterback probably needs to work on.
How about this, though? Trinidad Chambliss, to me, is a guy that has that quality that's hard to define. Tim Tebow had this quality. I think it was the it factor. But to me, it's more about the ability of a quarterback to find ways to win.
Yep.
And I felt like Ole Miss should not have won a couple games. Like most people probably counted them out in the playoffs. I thought it was the play of Trinidad Chambliss in those games, in those moments, that gave Ole Miss a chance to win. I'm not saying there weren't great guys around him. Obviously, football is a team sport. It takes all 22 and the guys. I get all that.
Name one other player on Ole Miss's offense.
I can't tell you. The running back was
really running back was good.
Yeah. I don't remember their names. You know me. I'm not.
Yeah, but the point is, the running back was good, and I can't think of his name right now, but he was really good. I don't know if he's still there.
Receiver.
Huh?
Juan Lacey, still there.
Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah.
Okay. I know LSU was trying to.
So, a couple of other quarterbacks on this list before we get to Marcel. 6, C.J. Carr.
Love C.J. Carr.
8, Sam Levitt.
I'm not a Sam Levitt. He has the most hype, and he's probably making $10 million, whatever. I'm not saying $10 million. No. He's making Olin Buchanan money at LSU. Let's say it that way.
You mean
I didn't love him at Arizona
he's
State.
Playing for free?
Ton of hype.
Yeah, a lot of hype. Lenore Sellers at 15, and then Marcel Reed at 16. And it says part of it is because of how the season ended.
I don't have a problem with putting Marcel in the top 20 and say, hey, work your way into the top 10.
Yeah. It is a good list. Let's see some of these other like Lenore Sellers, I get it. Drew Mestemaker, I really like him. Brendan Sorsby, another guy that has unbelievable talent, throw talent.
You don't like him?
I'm not a Byron Brown fan. I think he's very limited. I think he's an athletic guy. He's got a great look and fit. Noah Fritta can spin it. Josh Hoover. I love watching Josh Hoover spin the football. He turned it over too much last year.
Yeah, did you see what Signetti said about that?
What did he say?
Because Sonny Dykes made some kind of reference about how he had and he says, well, he came here, we introduced introduce him to his two next best friends. Great running game and a great defense.
Let's hit a break here because we got a little bit more to get into. Brad's Running Company located at Century Square below the Star Cinema Grill. They're awesome. They're a specialty running store with an outstanding selection of running gear, shoes, and gear. They've got Brooks, they got On, they got Hoka. They're going to help you find the right shoe. If you're into fitness, you know the right shoe makes all the difference in the world. Your tread only lasts for so long, and if you've been on it for 400 plus miles, it's time to get some new shoes. They'll take care of you. They also have Vuori there. They got Duck Camp. They got Turtle Box. They got Stanley Cups. They have it all. Brazos Running Company, located at Century Square below the Star Cinema Grill in College Station. Also, check out their sister company, Mason Hay, for all of your Aggie pajamas. It's the Brazos Running Company. Hey guys, David Nuño here to talk about our new partners with EventPipe. They are a leader in hotel booking technology, and now they're giving you a chance to support Aggie student athletes every time that you travel. Thanks to their partnership with United and EventPipe, whether you're heading into a game, a business trip, or family vacation, every room that you book comes with cash back in the pockets of Aggie athletes. That's a wonderful deal. And with EventPipe, you'll get discounted hotel rates up to 20% lower than the major travel sites, while enjoying a fast, easy booking process. They've even created Presto, EventPipe's quick launch booking solution. It lets organizations build branded hotel sites powered by live hotel inventory, making it simple to book the perfect stay. So next time you want to book a trip, do it the smart way with EventPipe and support Texas Aggies NIL through United. Visit their website, tau.eventpipe.com. And it's time for Buy, Sell, Hold, brought to you by Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. If you want financial guidance that truly puts you first, please visit paragon-adv.com.
Yeah.
What happened?
The Arizona State wide receiver that they had that was really good.
Yeah,
or am I getting confused with Arizona? He was a first-round pick.
Yeah, it might be Arizona.
He
but
was
I thought Arizona
Carolina
State.
Panthers.
I thought.
What is it?
Is that Arizona State or Arizona?
He was Arizona State.
Yeah, and he was a first-round pick.
Because they both had really good receivers.
That dude he's a beast.
Yeah.
He kind of came on strong in the NFL last year, late, right? Like he started producing.
I didn't pay attention to what he did in the NFL, but he was
played
really
last year for Arizona State.
To the point though, Sam Levitt, like I think it's a big show me year for him. The paycheck is there. He's got the offensive system. He's going to have tools around him inevitably. LSU. I mean, if he doesn't put up this year, then I think everyone's going to say,
I think Sam Levitt is a proven good quarterback. I don't know that he's a proven great quarterback. And maybe working with Lane Kiffin, he'll make that step from good to great.
All right. Buy, sell, hold.
Okay.
Musical acts that would fill Kyle Field.
Okay.
Okay. At close to or more than George Strait.
Okay.
Number one, Morgan Wallen.
Okay.
Number 2, Beyonce.
All right.
Number 3, this is for you, OB, the Rolling Stones.
Oh.
You've got to go first. I'm not going to walk into this one.
Yeah, here's the deal.
Who would bring the most people, you think?
Oh, Rolling Stones won.
Okay.
Because let's face it, you're running out of time to see them, you know? So Rolling Stones won. See,
they go to jail?
Young kid over there is shaking his head because he just don't know. You know, you go see legends.
Yeah.
Number 2, you know what? Remember we were in Atlanta for, what was it, SEC Media Days?
Yeah.
And all the people dressed like
Beyonce?
Beyonce?
She was performing while we were there, yeah.
So I'd have to put
Beyonce
her
number 2. It's right down the road from where she grew up.
So that would be the
I don't know. Kyle Field, though, Morgan Wallen and A&M, it's our culture.
Yeah, but people would come from hundreds of miles around to see the Rolling Stones and Beyonce.
So
I would not.
Would you go see Beyonce?
No.
Would you go see Morgan Wallen?
Yes.
I would absolutely go see Morgan Wallen. I'd pay for tickets for that.
I would too.
Yeah.
Cody Johnson all day.
Oh, yeah. Your rodeo? Let's go.
Let's go. Hey,
let's go.
Look at you venturing out.
Heck yeah, buddy.
What, they got country music when you're in there grappling?
Buddy,
on the
I'd listen
mat?
to it. You should listen to look at my playlist. It's great.
Man, this is good news for us.
What's the one that he talks about? You better call your dad before it's too late. That song is fantastic. You don't know what I'm talking about, do you?
Well, so what are yours really quickly?
My golden
Morgan Wallen is one.
We got 4 seconds.
Yeah.
You're buying Wallen. Who
Rolling
you selling?
Stones, Beyonce,
Okay,
selling.
so you're selling Beyonce.
All right, thanks, guys. When we come back, Michael Earley and Richard Zane next on TexAgs Live. What song is this, Cooper? Is it one of your kind of songs? I should know this.
No, I don't know it. It is.
Oh, the home run song. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I missed it for a second. It's TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Little baseball chat. Michael Earley is in the studio. Richard Zane here to help me out. Michael, what's up, man? How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm well. So, just another weekend at the ballpark. I'm sure for you all, it's just another series. But how do you not allow outside noise to affect what the job needs to be?
I think it's something you just preach all year. It's no SEC series is just another one, right? Like it's a big deal, right? And it obviously magnifies on the outside because it's Texas. But I think the cool thing for us is we're at home, right? Last year we were there; it was pretty rowdy, pretty unfriendly, and all in good banter. You know, it's a tough place to play, and you know now we have the fans on our side this weekend, so it's gonna be great. I'm like really excited, like to get out there and compete. Like I really think it's two really good baseball teams.
Definitely want to talk about this weekend a lot right now, but kind of an odd week this past week. You play 3 games in 30 hours, then you have Saturday, Sunday off. How have you and your staff used the time, obviously, a normal Tuesday midweek, to kind of get rested and ready to go for what, at least on paper, is the biggest weekend of the year so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think we had kind of like a mini all-star break for our players. Like they got Saturday, Sunday off, practice Monday, and basically 3 days of no games, which you don't really have a lot throughout the season, and just to play Tuesday and get back at it. So it's been good. I think they need a little reset, right? Obviously, you'd want to win Tuesday to feel great about it, but yeah, I mean, it's good, man. Like these guys are good and ready to go. Like they came back into practice like nothing had happened, and we all used it just to prepare for the upcoming week, and it's you never get that a lot, right? The weather gave it to us, so it was nice.
And then practice on Wednesday. How was that after the game on Tuesday night?
Good. Yeah, we had a good practice. Like we made a few mistakes in the game Tuesday, but we just move on. Like obviously address them, but it's stuff we work on every day. So again, we're always preparing. We're not reacting. So any mistake that was made, we'd prepared for it. We just didn't execute. So we just continue to do what we do, and play better the next time.
So considering how you've played the last couple of weeks with the biggest series of the year so far, and hopefully there's bigger series ahead, right? So that you want them to each build on each other. Right. How do you feel that you are heading into it?
From a preparation standpoint, I feel good. I feel really good. I feel like that about every game the entire year. Just I feel like we've covered every part, even the most minuscule parts of the game, and continue to touch on them throughout the season. So, and I really like this team and trust this team, and as you can see, they're super competitive, right? Like it is high level effort, energy, and for the most part, they've been playing clean, fundamental baseball. Like there's some things we always got to fix. You're always going to have things to fix, but the response of this team, how they've come out, their sense of urgency to this point in the season, like I think it's been really, really good.
Well, those guys you've been able to rely on to respond and kind of be that voice in the clubhouse seems to be Gavin Grohovac. He hits another home run on Tuesday night, and San Marcos just one at the plate. How has he been able to stay so consistently hot over the last 3 weeks now? And then 2, what does he provide from a leadership standpoint that we don't see from the outside?
Yeah, I think from the plate, he's really like just letting balls travel. Like whenever he was never struggling, just wasn't hitting home runs.
Sure.
He's just letting balls get deep. When you're that big and strong, and you got it when his turn is really tight. He's just able to generate power from it almost looks like balls from the side are almost by him. That's when he's good. He's not when he's a little out in front. Now he can still get hits when he's out in front because he's so strong. And just from a leadership standpoint, he's good. Gavin's went through his experience in the program is wild, right? SEC Freshman of the Year till you miss a whole season. Like it doesn't get more 180 than that. So he's got a lot of experience, and he's been great with the young guys. And I think a lot of it's just he comes in and he works hard. He gets treated like everyone else. He does the same stuff everyone else does, and he's been awesome, man. And I think for him, just time has passed, he's grown and grown. He's done a really good job.
I love how you pointed out that he wasn't hitting home runs, but he was still really good. I think we forget before Missouri, he was hitting like 360 or something.
And still had RBIs.
Awesome.
There's just a lot of doubles.
Yeah.
So great offense versus one of the best pitching staffs in the country. Talk to us about that group that they have in Austin.
Yeah, they're really good. I mean, I think they're the best pitching staff in the country for sure. I think they got 3 starters that are really, really good. 3 of the top whatever pitchers in the country, I think, start for them. And they got really good bullpen, and they just do a lot of stuff well, man. They mix it up. You don't want to get caught trying to guess pitches. If you guess, you're going to guess wrong. It's really just, it's a lot coming at you. It's a lot of strikes, a lot of stuff. They got velocity. They can pretty much do whatever they want with their pitching staff. So it's going to be a very big challenge for us this weekend on them for sure.
Going guy by guy in their rotation, Riojas, Harrison, and Volantis, when you look at them, what does the scouting report tell you about how you should attack each of those three guys?
Sorry to hesitate on scouting report question. I don't want to get to, it's not like I have some big secrets, but sure. On the for the most part, it's really about, again, what we do. Like, we're going to have an idea, plan of how they're going to attack, what they do, what their pitch shapes do. For us, it's we're trying to get balls over the middle of the plate, and we're trying to do damage on them. And when it's not over the middle of the plate, we're not going to swing at it. And when it's a situation where we need to move a ball, we're going to move a ball. That really, like, we've done, I feel like, a good job this year sticking to us. And if a guy has something here, there, like some of these guys are going to throw 5 or 6 pitches. What's your plan for 5 or 6 pitches? Like, you're looking for this one, you're looking for that one? No, we're going to be looking for a part of the plate that we're going to hunt in a strike in the zone. So, not to answer your question, or like I'm not avoiding it because I don't want to give away some big scouting report, but it's really just that. It's like, these guys are good, right? We're going to try to get something out of the heart of the plate. They miss it there. It's going to be our job not to miss it, period. And when it's not over the plate, we're not going to swing.
And then I feel their pitching kind of overshadows their offense a little bit, but they're still pretty good. So what do you see from Texas's offense and their approach at the plate?
I mean, I think they're going to be similar to us. They got a similar style of play, and they got a lot of really good players. I mean, their offensive numbers are really good. I know over the last couple games or weeks, they've just been, but that's just baseball. Like, they got a really good offense too. They're a really good team. I mean, we know they're a good team. I think they're, between UCLA, them, and Georgia, had experience with 2 of the 3, and just watching them some on TV. I think those 3 teams have by far to this point separated themselves as the best 3 teams in the country. So that's good. I mean, you want those type of challenges in a team like that coming in here. So again, we're going to have our hands full, but I like our preparation and where we're at, with a team like that coming in.
Limiting hard contact, easy to say, hard to do. What are some of the things that you can tell your staff about that?
Yeah, I think it's kind of what I said on the offensive side. Like, when a team like Texas or Georgia or Vandy or us, if you leave stuff out over the middle of the plate without conviction, like, it's probably going to get hammered, like, period. And not to make everything sound overly simple, but we have to make it overly simple. It's like, you got a square that's the strike zone, and if you throw it right here in the middle or up and it's soft, you're going to get hit. Like, we know where the guys' weak points are, and we're trying to hammer those weak points, period. And it's the same guys that I see strike people out, I see limit damage, are the same guys that give it up. So it's like, I tend to see the positive. Okay, you've shown the ability to do it. If you just always get hammered, you get hammered, right?
Right.
I'm the idiot thinking that you have a chance to get them out. No, you're doing it. It's just executing, not 75% of the time, 80% of the time, 100% of the time, or close to it. And when you do that, when you execute a lot, it gives you the ability to actually, if you make a mistake here and there, it gives you some leniency. But if you're making a few, it just kind of compounds.
Well, let me follow that up, because I think people think they're executing. Like, how do you, is it just the repetition, the mindset?
Yeah, they're executing, just not consistently. Like, when you got 2 strikes on a guy, they're not trying to do it. We don't want them to do it, but throwing an off-speed pitch, soften up in the zone is
not ideal.
Not ideal. And we've just, to that point, we've just been doing that, obviously too much.
So we spoke yesterday, press conference.
It's not 10, Rich.
I know it is not yet 10 o'clock.
9:09.
So my question is not about personnel. It's going to be about, what have the conversations been like? What have you been deciphering through? What have you been looking at as you near a decision regarding the starting rotation?
I think the one thing, and it's no secret about our pitching staff, is like, I won't say it's thin, but it's like, there's not a lot of, our guys are our guys, right? Yeah. So there's not a lot of shuffling the deck or giving this guy a start or that guy a start, but it's really just been about how do we continue to make these guys better and have them grow, because I know they can do it. So it's about doing it. So that's been the conversation, and JK's done a really good job with them. I mean, those guys work super hard, and I thought this weekend showed like their bounce back and their resilience. I don't know how many We give up 4 runs in 16 innings to a team like that. Like, that's a really good team. So Tuesdays are one thing. I think they're can be judged slightly differently, whether you like that or not. It's just it's a different type of game. So I think they're heading in the right direction.
So how do the pitchers take those conversations though? Like, because I mean, there's a lot in the air, but there's not that much in the air because it is your staff is your staff.
Yeah, they all want to win, and it's not pitchers and hitters. We're all just one team. So those conversations happen together, right? Mm-hmm. And obviously the coaching conversations happen differently, but just as a team, like, those guys want to win, and it's not the pitchers doing something wrong, it's not the hitters doing something wrong, or vice versa. We're a team. So it's just been a message about team, and we're all part of it together. And their reception on everything's been great. Like, they all want to do well, and some of them are, and some of them have moments where they are. It's just about, again, being more consistent with it.
You've been a part of this rivalry for going on 5 years now, whether that be in Omaha or midweeks or last week's series or last year's series in Austin, a couple football games as well, basketball. So what have you learned about Texas A&M versus Texas over the last 5 years? And then how do you think your past experiences have prepared you for the environment you're going to see this weekend?
It's definitely passionate, right? I think it's great. I mean, I think obviously I didn't go to either school.
Who is Indiana's biggest rivalry in baseball?
Purdue. Oh, baseball. It's just Purdue, period. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I think it's cool. Like, I know some people, there's like families, and maybe you guys are part of those families where you got some Texas people or some A&M people. And
my wife went to Texas.
Yeah, like, I just think that part of it. And like, I think it's just that we live in a great state. Like, Texas is awesome. Like, best state I've ever lived in. And then you got 2 fan bases that I think, in public respect each other, right? But at the games, it's wild. And maybe you guys have some arguments on that. I don't know. But it's just, I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome for sports in general. Like, these 2 teams brand, and, to me, in the best state in the country, going at it in college sports is awesome. And it's been cool to be a part of, right? Seeing all the football games, basketball games. From a past experience standpoint, it doesn't change much for me, I think. But I think this weekend, I think the crowd, and I think with the 2 quality teams coming in, I think you're going to see an environment at Bluebell, I think, like we've never seen before, and I think that's going to be awesome.
How cool is that for you, though? You're the head coach at Texas A&M. You got a great showdown this weekend against a guy that we know, and all eyeballs and everybody rooting for you, and just in a different way, a little bit different kind of passion.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for our guys. I'm excited every time we play. So it's it is the same game, but it is going to be heightened, right? It's going to be heightened. To me, the rivalry is what it is, right? That's why it's not my job to tell everyone else it's just another game, right? Mm-hmm. It's not, right? Everyone wants to beat Texas, and so do we. And it's an SEC weekend, and they're good, and we're good. And if you don't like an electric environment, then this is probably the wrong place for you to be.
Any weather updates, or you just want to play by ear?
Yeah, no updates so far.
Okay. Michael, appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Appreciate you. Michael Earley here on TexAgs Live. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with Richard Zane, talk a little more baseball. After that, Aaron Torres. You're listening to the world-famous TexAgs Live. a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We'll hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggieland since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls, reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com and your favorites are on their way. David Nuño and Richard Zane here talking some more baseball. I found Coach Earley to be the same way he has been every time he's been in here. Even keel,
been great.
Not too much, not too little, just all himself.
Exactly, and I think his press conference yesterday was drastically different from his press conference ahead of the Texas series a year ago. Right there, much more business. They know how to answer the questions, and you can tell none of the outside noise seems to be bothering them. They're focused on doing their job. I think the reunion and the return and all of that matters to us outside the program. But you heard either Gavin or Jake say yesterday that it's just baseball. Yeah. The game is the game. You're playing the game, not necessarily the opponent. So as long as you do your job, most often you're going to be okay.
I wonder with the distance, okay? It's been 2 years, almost 2 years, right?
22 months.
All right. So how that affects people's emotions this weekend. I'm not even talking about the players instead. Look, A&M has to beat Texas for SEC postseason reasons, right? And yes, pride and all that stuff. And I'm sure some animosity because it's Texas and for what happened. But like for them, that's not what's at stake. For fans, that's different. But do you think the 22 months has been enough time for people to kind of chill or nah?
No, not here, right? Because everybody wants their pound of flesh, and I mean that figuratively, not literally. If you are thinking of doing anything crazy and harming somebody because they left your school or because they wear burnt orange, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
I fully believe that. But everybody wants their chance to hurl an insult or create a hostile environment, even more so because of who's in the first base dugout, over Texas series over the last 10 years since they renewed the rivalry with midweek games. That much is true and heightened to probably 100-fold. Just look at ticket prices right now.
Yep.
Getting in price for a single is $50. That's the cheapest ticket. There's only one of those $50 tickets, and that was earlier this morning. Everything else is triple digits. Just to get in and sit on the grass or standing room only. Tickets are all the way up to $1,000 and more for this weekend. This is absolutely football levels of anticipation and hostility. And it's something that I don't think we've ever seen at Bluebell Park and maybe not in college baseball before. The environment at Bluebell Park this weekend, rain, precipitation, whatever, the weather's going to move out. They're going to play 27 innings this weekend. At least that's my expectation. When they are playing baseball, the environment is going to be like a super regional times 100.
Yeah.
That much is going to be true.
Yeah. To me, all the insults, the yelling, whatever it may be, it's hollow unless A&M on the field takes care of business. Because you don't take care of business, you were mean.
The way I look at it, they're completely separate, right? What happens on the field is what everyone should remember and will, that's what's most important in the grand scheme of things for Texas A&M baseball and the 26 club and what they want to accomplish. That's what I'm following. That's what I think is the biggest story this weekend, but that's separate from what the fans want. And the fans, they will create the environment and create the electricity for these players to play in. But as far as them doing their job of intimidating the head coach for the University of Texas, that's separate from the baseball side of things.
So let's go down a couple paths, okay? A&M has a great weekend. They win the series. A&M doesn't. Talk to me about the ramifications of that with still so much ahead.
Let's start with the first one, okay? If Texas A&M wins this series, just 2 of 3. They don't sweep the Longhorns, which we know that a sweep at home and on the road is so crazy difficult, regardless if the opponent is ranked second or unranked like Missouri. Right. If A&M takes 2 of 3, they will be 9-6 in conference. To feel comfortable about A&M getting in the tournament, I think you need to get to 14 conference wins. To host a regional, I think you get to 16. If you're at 9-6 at the midway point, you feel very, very confident about starting the conversation to host postseason baseball at Bluebell Park for the first time since 2024. That's reality. That's what A&M has played themselves into the last couple of weeks. They've won 6 of their last 7 conference games. That's not easy to do in this league.
Right.
Do not let do not let your disdain for Texas overshadow the fact that A&M is playing themselves into legitimate postseason conversations and will only further that case if they're successful this weekend. Now, the second path that you laid out for me is that you lose 2 of 3 or are you getting swept? Because those are 2 separate things. If you lose 2 of 3, you've built up something of a cushion, a little bit, right, by sweeping Missouri because it's so difficult. So after this weekend, you'd be 8-7. Still a good place to be. Still at a good place to be at the midway point, considering what you have coming. Road trips to Baton Rouge and Gainesville, top 15 opponents in Auburn and Mississippi State, and you have to go to Oxford. None of those weekends are going to be easy, but you have shown that you can take care of business against a Vanderbilt. You can get wins on the road against a pretty good Oklahoma team, and you can take a game from a team that's currently leading the SEC in Georgia. A&M has played themselves into a good spot, and as long as you avoid a sweep this weekend, because we know sweeps to any team, whether they're burnt orange or green or gold or red or blue, whatever, those can bury you. So you have to avoid the sweep.
What are the keys, in your opinion, this weekend?
Begins and ends with starting pitching.
Yeah, that's the story every week.
That's always the story. That's always what I watch. Can Texas A&M get some heroic pitching performances from your starters like you got from Aiden Sims last weekend? But if not, and you have to piggyback out of the bullpen, can you get something like you've got from a Grant Cunningham? Can you get Gavin Lyons to return to form? Does Clayton Freshcorn have to go out there and try to get a 3-inning save or something? Something from those guys out of the bullpen, in addition to a bounce-back performance from a Sadeo and a Moss, makes you feel great about that first path you lined out.
So last week was, hey, if we can get a pretty good performance from Weston Moss, I feel good about them coming back and winning the series after they lost the Thursday.
That.
And you got that. Is that the same case this weekend? If you get pretty good Shane, you get pretty good Weston, you get pretty good to really good Aiden Sims, is that enough against that pitching staff?
It could be. It could be, because A&M's offense has been elite so far. They've been elite against some pretty good pitching staffs, but they haven't seen anything like they're going to see this weekend, at least not to this point, this juncture of the season. So if you get pretty good from Sadeo, you get pretty good from Moss, and you get pretty good from Sims, feel pretty good about taking 2 of 3. And I know I said pretty good way too many times in that sentence, but
pretty
good.
So in about 34 minutes, we may know around that time the rotation.
10 o'clock.
What is your hunch? He did not tell us anything, by the way.
I don't have a hunch. My gut tells me that it's not going to look the same, but I don't know. Yeah. I legitimately don't know, and that's kind of exciting. If you put Aiden Sims on Saturday, and it would be normal rest plus a day for him because he threw on 2 days short last week against Vanderbilt, I like that. I like Aiden Sims, but Luke Harrison, for as much talk as we give to Riojas and Volantis, his numbers are still pretty good too. So it's not like he's going up against their weakest arm. I don't think they have a weakest arm in that 3-man rotation.
How much is weather going to play a role this weekend, in your opinion?
Again, man, I'm not a weatherman. I'm not a meteorologist.
But could it play into A&M's advantage?
I think so. If you have to start and stop, that does not play into A&M's advantage. If you have to play a doubleheader, that does not play into A&M's advantage. But if you have to just push game times back to where you can still play 9 innings consecutively, I don't think that hinders your ability to play with this team. What I worry about is getting 3 innings into a game and then having to stop for an hour and a half and then burning one of your starting pitchers or a bullpen arm because, quite frankly, he didn't say they were thin. I will. I think their pitching staff's thin.
Jorian, what we've seen from him, it's been pretty remarkable to watch his growth. What have you seen from him, and do you think he's still getting the same looks this weekend?
He's a freak, absolutely. I don't think there's any way you can take him out of the lineup. He's got 8 extra base hits in his last 8 starts. And a lot of those starts have been in SEC play. He's fun to watch. It's not like Braden Montgomery, where there was a point during that 24 season when every time Beaumont came to the plate, you're getting your phone out because you think he's going to do something really cool and hit the ball over the fence. I get my phone out when Jordan Wilson comes to the plate because you never know how hard he's going to hit the ball.
Yep.
Whether that's up the middle or into the gap or 44 degrees into the air for a 450-foot moonshot. You never know. Jordan Wilson's an exciting player to watch, and I don't think you can take him out of this lineup this weekend. What I'm watching as far as lineup changes and personnel changes is what do they do at DH. Blake Binderup, I think, has earned some more rope. He was not good in San Marcos. I think Blake could tell you that. He got pinch hit for after a pair of strikeouts, but those numbers are still really impressive. I know he's not a qualifying hitter, but an OPS over 1.3 is ridiculous. Right-handed hitter, you're going to face some, especially Valantis, you're going to see a left-hander on Sunday. I bet you're going to see Blake Binderup. But Coach Earley told us yesterday that you're going to see Terrence Keel the second. Yeah. So what do you do? Jake Dewar, we know that professional approach is not coming out of the lineup. Do you DH Dewar? Do you let Keel play left field? To me, your best outfield alignment is Keel, Sorrell, Wilson. But, that's a left-handed bat against a right-hander like Riojas and Dewar. He's the DH. But I think, I just don't think you're going to see Wesley Jordan. He didn't look good this past midweek against Texas State. 3 strikeouts on 9 pitches. It'll just be interesting to see how they treat the trio of Binderup, Dewar, and Keel.
So, Gavin, last thing for you, threw a little bit Lyons through on Tuesday. You think we see him this week?
Yeah, I don't think Gavin Lyons' outing on Tuesday night in San Marcos impacts his availability this weekend. He's a guy that has shown the ability to bounce back really quickly, almost like he's got a rubber arm, and I think you could see him multiple times this weekend if need be.
Friday, Sunday kind of thing?
Yes. You've seen him pitch 2 times in a week. You've seen him pitch 3 times in a week throughout the year. I don't think Tuesday's appearance at Texas State impacts his availability this weekend.
See you tomorrow on the Baseball Bunch, bud.
Can't wait.
Thank you, man. All right, when it comes to preserving your farm and ranch's legacy, it's not just about capturing pretty pictures, posting on social media, and telling your friends about it. It's about capturing the essence and then transferring those values to the future generations that are going to inherit it. And that can go with your land. It can go with just your family values. And that's what Chance McClain and Heritage Films does. They tell people stories. They tell family stories. They tell family ranch stories. And they do it better than anybody. They do these 2-hour documentaries that I believe are just impactful for right now, for the family that gets to watch it. And then later on, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, it's going to capture your story. And he does it the same way Netflix would do it, the same way BBC would do it, if anybody watches the BBC. Anyway, check out the website, yourheritagefilm.com, yourheritagefilm.com, and call them up, 713-893-8341, 713-893-8341 is Heritage Films. Welcome back to TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Time for Around College Athletics, brought to you by Milliken Reserve, a College Station community featuring homes, trails, farms, and wide open spaces with a mission to build a healthy community around nature. Take part in the Milliken Reserve community with a Conservancy membership. Learn more at millikenreserve.com. And with that, we go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline, joined by our friend Aaron Torres of Aaron Torres Online, and of course, Fox Sports Radio. AT, good morning, buddy.
Nuño, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm good. Look, I know we got to get college basketball in. I know, but I got to start things off because I know.
Do whatever you want.
Well, yeah, okay. Let's talk global warming. Go.
Iran? Yeah, I got some Iran takes. No, I'm kidding. I actually don't. I was walking by the TV. I was like, wow, there's nothing I know less about than Iran. But
You've never gone running.
But I'll just readily. What's that?
You've never gone running.
Have I ever gone running?
Never mind. Iran. Dad
running.
joke. Hey,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Obi taught me that one. Anyway, I just want to start things off with, you know what this weekend is in College Station, right? It's A&M in Texas. It's the return of Schloss, and I know you had a hot sports take 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, one, I just remember being bullied because Schloss knew how to use Zoom on his phone and I didn't. I remember that part. The other thing is, let me actually ask you a semi-serious question because I've been so locked in football or in basketball. Is everyone in the SEC just down this year? I don't know about A&M, but every time I go online, I see Arkansas fans upset. I see LSU fans upset. Is the Big Ten about to take over baseball too? Because I don't think the world is ready for that if that's the case.
No, they're not going to take over baseball. No, the best teams are still in the SEC. Well, UCLA is pretty damn good.
Yeah, we would have said that about football 2 years ago. Too.
Aaron, I still, look, maybe it's because I drink the SEC juice, all right, if that even makes sense.
Sure.
But I still think the SEC is the better conference. I know they've had the better team in the Big Ten. And I'm talking football right now, I still think the SEC is the better conference.
Well, we can get back to baseball in a second. I will say this. I think next year, by the way, I think it's a year-to-year conversation. I don't think it has to be one has permanently surpassed the other until the end of time. I think next year, though, it's going to be tough to argue on behalf of the SEC because you look at the Big Ten, Dante Moore back at Oregon, Indiana's rolling, Ohio State's always going to be good. Michigan, was with a bunch of Michigan fans this weekend. They're excited about the Kyle Whittingham era. USC is going to have its best team under Lincoln Riley. What does that mean? I don't know. But I do think this is the year where, and oh, by the way, Alabama, first-year starter, quarterback, Texas, we'll see if they can live up to expectations. This year might be the year that it's hard to argue, but I don't think it's necessarily something in perpetuity. I think in this particular case, talking about 2026, everything lines up nicely for the Big Ten. But I think that is a fair assessment by you, is that you can have the national champion without necessarily being the best conference in college sport, in that sport, right? Like, I'm a UConn alum. If UConn had won the championship, nobody would be arguing that the Big East was the best conference in college basketball. So I actually think it's a very fine point by you, David. And I think it's a great point, as a matter of fact.
No, I just think if you, and by the way, the argument has changed, right? When the SEC was winning all the championships, there was 2-3 dominant teams in the SEC, right? It was Alabama's Saban's Alabama, LSU had their run, right? Georgia. But now what I think, but I would say the rest of the conference wasn't up to par. Now what we have is 3-4 teams in the Big Ten that can win it all. And I don't know if the rest of the conference can. I think in the SEC, you got 10 teams that can compete for the playoffs.
Well, I think there was a little bit of revisionist history on that last year of like, oh, the SEC is clearly deeper. I don't know, man. Florida was pretty freaking bad. I watched them go 4-8. South Carolina was terrible. Arkansas was terrible. Kentucky was terrible. So listen, I mean, if you're talking about depth of teams that were, I don't know what the verbiage would be, but, if we're now counting like 8 and 4 teams as a success, then maybe the SEC had more. I don't remember all of the details off the top of my head, but that was one of like the big revisionist history things last year that kind of annoyed me. Was people was like, well, the depth in the middle and the bottom of the SEC is still the best. And I'm like, I don't know. I just watched Florida put up 8 points against USF. I just watched Auburn literally be unable to move the ball against anyone with a pulse. So, listen, it's a fluid conversation. It is an ever-evolving conversation. But I'll say this. it is a great conversation for college football. I mean, dude, listen, we just did 6 minutes on it, in April. We could do 6 minutes more. We could do 20 minutes more in August and still disagree. It's a great topic. Really quickly, back to A&M versus Texas. How are the Aggies looking on the diamond this year? I haven't really had a chance to really dive in as of so far this season.
Can I just say a couple of things about that, though? Kentucky, as bad as they were, almost beat Texas, and almost isn't good enough. Mississippi State should have beat Texas.
I think that's more of an indictment on Texas. I don't think Texas was that good.
I would say South Carolina almost beat Alabama. I keep saying almost. That's not good enough. And almost beat A&M, right? So, I feel like remind me, tell me if I'm wrong. Did the Big Ten bottom feeders have that much of a chance?
Let's extrapolate this out. South Carolina almost beat Alabama. Alabama got obliterated by Indiana. So is that a conversation about South Carolina rising to Alabama's level, or is that a conversation about Alabama lowering itself to South Carolina's level? Let's have a conversation about that. Interesting.
I just think that SEC teams...
You weren't ready for that curveball.
No, I didn't listen.
If Schloss sees a curveball like that, they ain't going to be able to hit it. But keep going.
AT, see, this is why people think we don't like each other, because they know you wouldn't say it in my face. No, here,
of course I would.
I know you would. It wouldn't last long. But
Superman shirt, it's okay.
I'm actually wearing a business shirt today. I'm dressed nice. No, AT, I guess my point is I do believe the bottom teams in the SEC and the middle teams in the SEC are significantly better than the bottom teams and the middle teams in the Big Ten. That's my point. Last year.
Yeah, I'll say this, a couple things. The other thing, too, is, the issue is there are so many teams in the Big Ten, and, this is where I will give the SEC credit. Is every team in that league, the standard is you're trying to compete. And what I mean by that is, if you look at the Big Ten, I don't know that Maryland really cares that much. I think they're just hey, we're going to cash these checks and, we'll be good in a couple sports and maybe basketball sort of matters. But football, we're just going to cash these checks, take that beat down from Ohio State. And if we have 30,000 Ohio State fans infiltrate our stadium, hey, that's a good win for us. There's nobody like that in the SEC, and I will give credit on that. Vandy has said, why not us? Kentucky said, hey, being 6-6 and making a bowl game every year isn't good enough. Let's see if we can be better. Obviously, the same with Mississippi State as well. And I think Arkansas to a degree as well. So that is where I will give the SEC credit is everybody is okay, we got the money now. There's no excuse not to try. And again, you look at Rutgers, you look at Maryland. I would say UCLA kind of had that mindset, although I'll be curious because I think Bob Chesney is a real coach. But that is where I will say is that I think you're probably right on the absolute bottom of the league, because even the absolute bottom of the league in the SEC last year, to your point, Kentucky beat Auburn. Arkansas was competitive in everything. And it's not like there's just teams that just aren't trying. And I do kind of feel like that in the Big Ten, specifically with the ones I mentioned, Maryland, Rutgers, stuff like that.
Hey, let me just ask you one hypothetical. Right? And I don't think they played, so I think it's okay to ask. I'm trying to find a couple teams that have similar records. All right, Florida went 2-6 in the SEC, 4-8 overall. And who's somebody who went 4? Let's see. If Florida took on Northwestern,
UCLA probably went right around 4-8.
What's that? If Florida took on Northwestern, I would, I don't know what Vegas would put the line at, but I would put Florida, last year's team, by 6.5. Am I wrong?
Okay. Yeah, and if South Florida played Florida, they'd be a 17-point underdog.
That's true.
Right. And, you're doing, listen, the great SEC hypothetical is, listen, it's an online thing, but it's kind of true. It's and by the way, what is the reason? I don't know, but this is the great SEC hypothetical that everybody talks about. And by the way, I don't think you're wrong, but Northwestern, if I'm not mistaken, and forgive me, I didn't, I wasn't breaking down Northwestern film yesterday or anything like that, but I believe they did find a way to go 6-6, go to a bowl game. I could be wrong on that.
I think you're right. Let's see. Conference, they went 4-5, and overall,
Whatever
right.
didn't click. And I think there is something to where is the coaching discrepancy? Like that, I think is the big thing in the SEC right now is do you have the right coaches at these places? And I think you're getting back to that. All the new guys aren't going to work, but I think Will Stein is kind of a new age guy that Kentucky needed. I think clearly they needed somebody besides Hugh Freeze at Auburn. I think Summerall is the right guy for Florida. So I think that's really where it becomes interesting is you're right, is that if Florida played Northwestern on a neutral field, Florida would in fact be favored, but the games are played for a reason. And and it does feel like the coaching advantage has gone to the Big Ten. And it's not just, Ryan Day and Dan Lanning, it's Signetti, I mean, even somebody like PJ Fleck. Like PJ Fleck's a good coach. He just, it's Minnesota. So anyway, that's my take on that.
I don't disagree with anything you just said. The better coaches are definitely in the Big Ten right now. AT, let's get to the national championship and Michigan's run. And look, I know I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. I recognize that. I don't love that teams are complete. Like all these guys going into the portal right now and these teams being dismantled because of the portal. I don't love it, right? But I do cheer it when it helps my team out. And that's kind of where we are in college basketball, especially even more than football, I think.
Yeah, there's no doubt because one or two players can make that big of a difference. And, the only pushback I'd have on Michigan, first of all, listen, I'll say this. I don't think when every team is losing the volume of players that they're losing, I don't think it's good for the sport. Like, let me get that out of the way. It's hard to tell a kid that, probably isn't going to play in the NBA or NFL, hey, you have a chance to make more money playing this sport that you love than you ever will the rest of your life. And you're at some mid-major school, but you should stay for the love of the school. So we get all that. I think with Michigan specifically, the important thing that I would push back on, and it's not you, obviously, it's just the national narrative that came out of it is, they had 4 starters transferred in this season. It's like, dude, Adai Mara, who is the most, I thought he was the most important player on the team, even though Lendabor was the Big Ten player of the year. Adai Mara played at UCLA last year and averaged 6 points in 13 minutes a game. And in one offseason, he became the most valuable player in college basketball when you talk about both ends of the court. And so to me, that's a perfect example of why the portal is good, because that dude in a different world, maybe he doesn't transfer. He's from overseas. He doesn't want to sit out. He just goes back home and whatever. That kid's life changed in one off season because of the, unlimited transfers essentially. And again, I don't think it's a perfect system, but I just bring it up to very simply say that with Michigan, it was still about evaluation, even though they had the money to make the moves. Elliot Cadeau was the Final Four most outstanding player, was kind of forced out at North Carolina. Like people talk about transfers, and this, Nuño, and Bronny knows it, and Olin knows it. Everybody that transfers doesn't transfer because they hate the school that they're at. Sometimes the school is like, we're going in another direction. And I think that's an important variable that unless you cover this stuff, it's easy for, and I'm just using him as an example. I don't even know if he made this argument, but it's easy for Stephen A. Smith to swoop in the day after the Final Four and say this is the worst thing ever. But guys like you and I that cover this on a day-to-day basis know not all these guys are just leaving for a bigger bag or more money or more opportunity. A lot of them are being forced out of the places that they want to be at by the coaching staff or, whomever is in place at that school.
AT, I got 44 seconds. So let me just ask you this. I didn't get to talk to you last week, so I didn't get to find out. Full disclosure, I like Dan Hurley a lot. I like that passion. I like that fire. I know it irks some people. I like it. But what happened at the end of the game with the referee, the Final Four game? Like what happened there?
This was the Illinois game or the second game?
Well, the game of the Duke game where he went kind of crazy.
Oh, listen, all I would say is I would look into it. I look at the video closely. The ref comes into him. I think they couldn't hear each other. There have been times where Dan Hurley has been inappropriate with refs. Go back to the Marquette game to end the regular season, and I've called him out for it. I didn't think that was a quote-unquote headbutt. I think if you look closely, they couldn't hear each other. The ref comes in, and it kind of looks like a headbutt. The loose jacket over the shoulders probably doesn't help, but I thought that was really, to me, a semi-non-story. Dan Hurley's been inappropriate at times. I don't think that was one of them.
Good stuff, man. I appreciate you, AT. Enjoy the weekend.
All right, good luck to them Aggies, man. Gig 'em.
Gig 'em.
I'll be watching. I don't think
you
the
will.
Horns. Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
See ya. Bye.
Is it on? It's gonna be on like SEC Network. If it is,
It'll be. It's all over the world.
It's
It's going to be the biggest thing in the world right now. I got to go.
true. Masters. This is the tradition unlike any others. I got you.
Master of the universe, Michael Earley. Thank you, sir. Talk to you soon. A delayed exit on TexAgs Live. Sorry, Brian broadcasting in a moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 and Caldwell Online. CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. Your trade-in's got value. Caldwell Country Chevrolet wants to take care of you. They're ready to put that equity to work for you. Their pre-owned inventory moves fast, which means they need some cars for their lot. And bring in what you got, and their experienced sales team is going to show you what it's worth. And they have decades of combined experience, and they know how to structure a deal that makes sense for you and your family. Looking for a car for your kid, your mom, your grandmother, whoever it may be, let Caldwell Country Chevrolet take care of you. No gimmicks, they just do it the right way. 15-minute drive the edge of Bryan to the beginnings of Caldwell. Short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the great people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. We're back on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Got a couple of chats that I wanted to read because they caught my attention earlier in the show. Tyler, when OB was doing his hair, never thought I'd watch a movie star do their hair on TexAgs Live. That was great. And then Vincent earlier, as a guy in OB's range, his hair is way wild. So a lot of people were talking about that. David Edmond, as a bald guy, I can say OB can do whatever he wants with his hair. What are some other things Cooper Patterson and the Angry Elephant use in social center?
AT seems to have got the chat riled up. They're upset about.
What did he say?
It's the Big Ten SEC talk. How he talked about the bad SEC teams, which I agree those teams were bad.
I still think those teams are better than the bad teams in the Big Ten.
They listed Rutgers, Maryland, Michigan State, Northwestern, UCLA, Purdue, Minnesota. All the teams are horrible, they say.
Yeah. No, I don't watch a lot of bad Big Ten football. I don't. And I think to my original point, but he did have a good counter with South Florida beating Florida.
That's true.
Florida was a weird team last year. I mean, they played teams tight, but guess what? If you don't win and you play a team tight, you still lost.
Plenty of talent, bad coaching.
Yeah. All right, we'll hit a break here. When we come back, JB Moss on the mobile. Next on TexAgs. Welcome back into TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Hour number 3 of the program. Let's continue the baseball dialogue. We go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline, joined by our good friend JB Moss. Talk a little Aggie baseball, get a former player's perspective. JB, what up, buddy?
David, how we doing today?
Good, man. I'll start things off pretty casual and easy. Give me your read on this A&M baseball team that, we know their limitations, but we also know what they can do really well, which is mash. How do you feel heading into this Texas series?
Yeah, I'd say I'm still feeling pretty good. I know they kind of took a loss on Tuesday night at Texas State. It's always a tough place to play, and they got a pretty solid program. So, look, you kind of expect bumps in the road in non-conference and in conference play. So, overall, still very positive about this team, especially offensively and on the dirt. So, very much looking forward to this weekend.
Yep. I want you to give me a former player's perspective on rivalries, okay? I know what it feels like to be a fan. I didn't play at the level you played, not even close, right? Not even on video game close. So, when it comes to rivalries, and you're an Aggie, man, like you bleed maroon, right? Like I know that about you. But how do most players in a clubhouse, in a locker room, kind of look at rivalries? And maybe it's hard for you to answer in this era where people are only here for a short while.
Yeah, I don't know if I have any exciting revelation for you. I would say this. I think when it comes to playing a rival, I think when the schedule first initially comes out, David, I would tell you that it's kind of what you circle on your calendar as a big weekend and something you look forward to. But really in your preparation for the season and as you're going through the season, it's really not something you think about. You're kind of just focused on what's in front of you that day. Because there are, so many other teams throughout the league that are so good, your attention and your focus has to be on what's in front of you. So I'd say before the season, it's something fun and exciting to look at. And then obviously the week before the game, I would say that it's just kind of an extra motivation, more energy, practice. And honestly, when you're playing a rival, it's really something that the fans are kind of more into than the players. It's kind of business as usual in regards to practice and preparation. And then once the game comes, it's all the external stuff, right? It's all the fans in the stands. Everyone has more energy. Everyone's a little more amped up. So I would say everything's more external as far as, the focus on playing a rival.
Here's an impossible question for you, JB. It's impossible because there's not a right answer, but there probably could be a wrong answer. Who needs this more? The A&M baseball team or the Texas A&M fanhood?
Oh, that is a tough question. I would say the A&M fanhood needs this more. Look, your goal in the Southeastern Conference is to go 500. I know that's not a sexy answer, but if you go 500, you're getting in a postseason. Anything above 500, you're likely going to host or be a national seed. And so, look, A&M sitting at 7-5. They got a home series with Texas this weekend. Obviously, you want to win that series. You want to sweep that series. If they don't, there's still enough games where, everything is still out in front of them. So the season's not over if this weekend doesn't go the way everyone wants them to. I would say, look, it's the player's job to play with emotion but not be emotional, right? And I think as a fan, you can't help but be emotional about the entire situation, how everything went down. And I think this is something every Aggie wants really badly, obviously, for reasons I just said. So I would say it's more important for the fan base more than it is the players.
Talking to JB Moss here on TexAgs Live. We assume to hear how the rotation is going to shake out this weekend. Any thoughts on what they could do?
Yeah, I think they'll keep it as is. I could be wrong on that. Maybe they mix up the rotation as far. I think the three guys are going to remain the same. They may mix up, which guy pitches first, second, or third. But I think, look, at this point, I think you got what you got. This isn't a particular pitching staff who is very deep. I think if that was the case, you may have already seen some other options. I think these are their three best guys on the weekend, and I think that's who they're going to ride with. And like I said, they may mix up the order, but I think those three guys are going to be the three guys.
I know it's very easy to look at what Shane Tadeo's done the last few starts and be like, man, I'm worried about him. But is there anything that you've seen from him? Because there have been these excellent moments in these bad outings that gives you like a little bit of optimism. Like, dude, he's a pitch or two or a defensive play away from being pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. I still have the utmost confidence in Shane. Look, the thing that gives me hope is Shane's wipeout stuff. I mean, he's averaging more than a strikeout per innings pitched. I mean, the stuff is there, in my opinion. I think he's been on some bad side. I think he's been on the bad side of some tough luck in giving up homers and what the wind's doing and the lineups he's facing. So I do anticipate the homers he's given up to go down. And I'm certainly looking for a good start from him this weekend. What I really want to see from Shane is his ability to control his emotions. I think, with all the external factors this weekend, it'll be very easy to get tied up in your emotion. And, what I would not like to see is him come off the mound in the first inning, with some type of emotion that should be displayed in the 6th or 7th inning. I think you need to go out there, you need to control yourself, throw strike one, and get your team back in the dugout. So this will probably be the biggest start of Shane's career, and I'm hoping for the best for him.
Yeah, to kind of follow that up a little bit, how important is it to get length from your starters? I mean, you need to see them go 3, 4, 5, 6 innings.
Yeah, for sure. It's super important. It's super important every weekend, but it's super important this weekend as well. So, look, A&M, like I said, they're not known for depth when it comes to this pitching staff. So every single out you can get from these starters is going to play a huge role into the outcome of the weekend. Be it Shane and Weston and Aiden, all those guys. They need to get you into the 5th or 6th innings of ball games, because you're likely going to rely on Freshcorn, Darden, Vargas, Gavin Lyons. I mean, those are your horses, and there's not many of them that are good enough. There's just not as many as you'd like to see. So the outs that the starting pitching can get is going to be a huge factor in this series.
How about the emergence from Jorian and Bear and getting hot at the right time right now? It's been really nice to see, because the offense was already good, but adding those two pieces, at least with some pop as well, has made a big difference.
No, it definitely has. And look, any time you can get a player at the bottom of the lineup to get hot to extend your batting order is a huge thing. So look, A&M's got 7, everyday starters that are batting above 300. I mean, that's unheard of. It's very positive for the offense, and getting Bear hot, getting Jorian comfortable. I mean, that guy's talent. I mean, everyone that comes on the show talks about it. I mean, it's very, very rare, the tools that he possesses. And I am of the utmost confidence about A&M's offense and what they can do. Look, the key for them this weekend, David, is can they stay within themselves? Can they trust their breathing? Can they trust their training? Can they not let the emotion and the energy of the stadium dictate how they run the offensive plan? Can they stay foul pole to foul pole? Can they not try to do too much? That's going to be the big key on both sides of the baseball this weekend, is can A&M control their emotions?
All right. And then, I know you meant this too, can Texas, right? Texas, as good as they are, this is going to be the craziest environment they've probably ever been in. I would assume. I mean, I know they had a run last year, but I think this is going to be a different vibe than, your typical regional. Am I right?
No, I agree with you 100%. Look, I don't think it's any secret. There's going to be some hostility in that stadium this weekend for obvious reasons. So, Texas is going to face the same challenge. Can they control their emotions? It's going to be very rowdy. They're probably going to rally around Slosh, if I was to guess. I'm sure they'll have some team meeting talking about, trying to back him and what he's dealing with, and, all those kind of external things. So, look, we played TCU in 2016. It was kind of a revenge tour. We lost to them in an ugly fashion, Game 3 of the Supers in 2015. And Slosh and them came to Blue Bell Park. And I thought that the 2016 TCU team did a better job of controlling their emotions than we did. I thought, baseball, it's not of an advantage in baseball if you're playing with emotion that you can't control. I thought we tried to grip the bat too tight. We tried to throw the ball too hard. We just kind of got out of what made us that whole year. I thought TCU, like I said, did a better job of playing within themselves, and they ultimately won the series. So I truly think that that's going to be the deciding factor this weekend.
How much do you think that can affect a head coach's decision-making, right? And on both sides, but, more specifically that the guy leading Texas, I mean, does his background give you anything to say that he can make some questionable choices or decisions based on the kind of volatility that's going on around him? Or is that giving that too much credit?
No, I think there's something to that. I think, I think when it comes to controlling your emotions, that's going to apply to the coaching staff also. I mean, look, who can let go of all these external factors, all the energy in the stadium, and who can just go out there and play and manage baseball the best? That's the team that's going to win. All this other external craziness and rowdiness and all that really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to who can manage the game the best and who can play the cleanest and who can get the timely hits.
All right, so give me your keys to the series this week, and give me 3-4 keys for A&M to take the series.
Yeah, I would say key number one would be starting pitching for A&M. Look, this Texas offense is very, very good. Their numbers stack up pretty close to the A&M offense. You're dealing with a south wind this weekend, so I think it's going to be pretty offensive. So when it comes to the A&M starters, can you throw strikes, number one? Can you avoid the free passes? A solo home run is likely not going to kill you. But if you walk to and give up a double before that, a 3-run home run's a different story. So can they throw strikes, and can the A&M starters keep the ball in the ballpark? That'll be the key on the pitching side. And then offensively, look, man, it's going to be who can run the offense, who can pass the baton to the next player. And look, you cannot hit a 6-run home run. Okay, it's impossible. So I think that's an important reminder for these guys that, hey, just run off the offensive plan that we set up for you guys. Stay within yourselves and pass the baton to the next player. And whoever does those two things is going to win the series.
You excited for this one, JB?
Yeah, of course, man. Anytime you play Texas, regardless of external factors, it's a big weekend. Everyone in the state will be watching. Everyone will be excited. And I'm really just what I want to see most, and what I'm excited to see, is these guys' maturity and their growth. And, can they play for each other? And can Mike stay within himself and make good, responsible, managing decisions? So, look, it's going to be exciting, and I'm sure everyone's excited to watch too.
JB, I appreciate it, buddy. Enjoy the weekend, and let's hope we get a series win.
Of course. Thanks for having me on. You guys have a great day.
That was the great JB Moss on the Buppies Catering and Bartending Hotline. Man, Cooper, I think it's going to be rowdy. I do. I think it's going to be crazy rowdy, as it should. But what I was saying to, I think it was to Richard, is that rowdiness only matters if you capitalize on that rowdiness. You know what I'm saying? If you lose, that rowdiness, it was effective for how long, right? You're going to have, that doesn't mean that I don't think all 3 games, regardless of the outcome, aren't going to be crazy, but it almost just feels like, okay, yeah, you were mean, but they won, right? So be mean, respectful mean, whatever, right? Don't be like physical mean, right? Hey, I hate you, coach. Fine, whatever. But
wait, what were you saying the other day? Strike out, loser.
Strike out, loser. You could say that, but that doesn't matter that much afterwards if you don't the Texas and Texas A&M football game a couple years ago at Kyle.
Exactly.
Got really quiet real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It got exciting again later, right? But and I just want that energy, that electricity to match the moment. Right? And I want the baseball team to match the moment. I think they will. I think we're gonna have a great weekend. I do. But the rowdiness, it gets amped up with success. You struck out, you loser, in the bottom of the 9th when A&M is up 12-2. Feels a lot better than losing 12-2 and struck out, loser. It just, you know what I'm saying? So, just match the moment. That's all I'm asking. And it's not even a question. It's a desire. It's a hope. And my desire for you all is to listen to 3 guys that know nothing about sports talk about it next. We're going to have the fan show guys. They know some stuff, right? They know, where Kyle Field is and, that kind of stuff. But we'll talk to the fan show guys on the other side. Right now, when the unexpected happens, whether it's a car accident or property damage or business liability, preparation matters, and the Rollo Insurance Group ensures you that you are properly covered during crisis. Any bad time that happens, they want to take care of you. Their independent agents provide a consultation across all insurance types, giving you the confidence that details are handled correctly. 60 offices statewide and experts that help you all the way. Their true value of insurance becomes clear during those awesome and critical moments when you need to file a claim. So make sure you have a relationship with your agent, and that agent should be a Rollo Insurance agent because they will take care of you immensely. Don't wait until disaster strikes to discover that you don't have the best coverage. Call them up or visit them. The website is rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. That's rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. Or call them up, 888-44-ROLLO. That's 888-44-ROLLO. Three guys who know a lot about sports, kinda. It's the Fan Show. Welcome back to TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Matt Browning, hello.
Hey, good morning.
Hunter Shurtleff, hello.
Hunter Shurtleff in the
Good to be
house.
back.
I know.
Howdy.
Hunter Shurtleff in the spring.
Roy May, hello.
What's up?
Hey, buddy. Guys, I think it's time to start off the show with the world's hardest question. We got a Cooper Patterson at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. You pick who gets the first question. It better be Hunter since he hasn't been here in a while.
That's where I was going to go.
Okay,
Hunter,
good.
what's on your mind?
What's on my mind? What's star of the show today, right? The Lone Star Showdown series this weekend with Texas. A lot of memories, right? Because, again, I'm a little older, but just some great memories of the 80s and 90s. And we used to go, to these games, certainly here. We used to go to Austin a lot. I got a different feel about baseball rivalry versus like football. Like football, it seems like in your stadium, like you really, really hate these people.
Yeah.
And you wish ill will amongst them. And maybe tempers flare a little both ways. The way it used to be, at least, the baseball crowd was a little different, right? There's some good jarring, but I felt like it was a little more family rivalry.
Yeah.
But what about this weekend?
Probably the same. I don't know. I mean, the problem here is we feel like, we're kind of the underdog here. We got embarrassed last year. There's some real grudge with a certain guy,
He who will not be named,
wearing the manager uniform. So I think there's some hate going on that right there.
Yeah.
But here's the story. I don't remember. I should have texted my buddy. He's got the other game. There used to be this. He may still be alive. I don't know. We called him Biff, this Texas fan. I mean, he goes to all the games. I don't know his name. You 2 or 3 guys can probably tell me. But he would walk up and down the stairs, starting to clap and getting the Texas fans going. He's kind of a hoot. I mean, he's annoying, but it was actually fun to talk to the guy.
At the same time.
He would meet out there at the where the guys get the beers outside right field in Olson, and
he's a good fan.
I called him Biff because that's just what he looked like to me. I don't know his real name. Somebody please chat or text in. Somebody knows this guy.
The guy from Back to the Future? Isn't that Biff?
Yeah, Biff Tannen.
Yeah, but he was a little kind of like an older guy, preppy. But I mean, he was older when I was young, so the guy's got to be
super
70.
old now.
Exactly. He's
like
up
in his
there.
90s.
You know who I'm talking about. He's at all their home games, obviously, but the dude travels.
Yeah.
And I want to know who he is.
So he's like the Vandy Whistler, but you don't want to punch him in the face.
If he's there, like with one arm grabbing the rail, doing the same thing this weekend, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
And I hope he goes home extremely unhappy. And
me too.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Roy, what's on your mind?
Well, my daughter gets her ring tomorrow, so that's
Congratulations.
Welcome to the
Big
Cool
day.
Kids Club. Yep. Ring dunk on Saturday, so I've been prepping for that.
You built the stage.
I built a
What?
little stage for her and her friend.
Cool.
Smoking some pork butts.
New Army.
But I'm with Hunter. What's on my mind is the same thing, across Agland right now, and the theme of today's show, absolutely, and for good reason. I agree with you when it comes to how the rivalry is, between the different sports, right?
Yeah.
But this weekend is just different. Like, I always want to beat them, and I always can't stand them. It doesn't matter what sport. It can be equestrian. I don't care. It could be backgammon.
You want no good to come to them. Yeah.
Zero. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. 100% ill will. But I think this weekend, just because of everything, how it transpired, I think it's going to be really rowdy. This is and JB Moss hit on it, and Zane hit on it. Like, this is going to be regional, super regional, psycho crazy, and I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. And I saw earlier this morning, I think it was Barstool actually, A&M Barstool put it up and had a graphic just for all the categories, because baseball is such a statistical sport, and just had Texas on one side, A&M on the other, and just their numbers. And if you look at all the numbers, in theory, we're kind of evenly matched with these guys. But then you also watch them play and you look at their stats, you understand that it's probably one of the best pitching staffs in the country. Their offense can mash. I mean, there's a good baseball team. So this is one of those weekends where 12 man's going to play a part, because they can in baseball.
Do you think, and for everybody, before we go to Browning on what's on his mind, do you think, had this series been played a year ago, more volatility, exactly the same? Do you think distance has caused anything
Yeah, I don't. I think that there's. Yeah, I mean that wound is still incredibly fresh.
Just as
it's
fresh.
going to be just. I mean, it's going to be
last
as
year
rowdy.
it was fleshy and infected, and if they were playing here last year, like it would be way worse.
With having more of that, especially more of that team together that he just abandoned. And so that's kind of what I was. That's part that's on my mind is all about he who will not be named swinging into town.
Yeah.
So he's that's going to be it's going to be absolutely rowdy. I can't wait to see kind of what like you said what 203's got for him, and that it's going to be crazy. I'm hoping the weather holds off enough. It's because it's going to be a very very wet weekend here in College Station. Just it's supposed to rain every day. So
does the weather help us though?
I mean, lightning won't. So I mean, it's that we're looking at thunderstorms, and I'm a part-time meteorologist for what I do for a living. So I'm keeping an eye on all of that, and there's some pretty heavy thunderstorms coming in. So there we could have
coming in Saturday.
Yeah, quite a few delays possibly. So if it just rained, it's just rain. That's fine. But I would think that rain. I couldn't see how it would hurt us. I mean, in any way.
Saturday's supposed to clear out by about 4 o'clock though.
I don't like it. Look, if you get delays, you lose some crowd and all that. I don't think that helps the home team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping to just
delays don't help anybody, especially us with our lack of depth at pitching.
Right.
Yeah, that's the issue. I mean, that to me, I think if we pitch well, we stand a chance. But if we pitch like we pitch like we did the other night, we could. This could be a. I just don't want it to get ugly in that stance because if we pitch well, we can play with anybody in the country.
Well, sure, but we've kind of pitched not well throughout the season, but we're hanging in there because the bats are, never dying. So
yeah, but we haven't played a team of this caliber yet either. So
same question.
They're good.
I mean,
they're very good.
Okay.
I hate them, but I'll give credit where credit's due. That's a very good team.
He's a great head coach. He's great, right? Like I know he's great. We had him for a little bit. It was a fun run.
He was good. Yeah.
But I'm going to ask this question, the same thing I think I ended with JB Moss. Who needs this more? The Aggie baseball team, they have some cushion, a little bit, not too much, but a little cushion, or this fan base, because let's face it, it hasn't been a fun couple years overall with those folks in Austin. There's been a couple areas that have been fun, but
since they've entered the SEC, it has definitely been a fairly one way against across the sports. So
not all the sports.
No, we're leading. Are we leading the Lone Star Showdown right now?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but I mean
football, baseball, basketball.
Football, baseball, basketball have not been. Basketball, I think we're split with them. Right?
Basketball,
we're split with them this year. I don't know. I can't remember what we did last year.
We split with them last year, but they lost in the SEC tournament last year, so technically they won 2 of the 3.
Yeah. And then we split this year. Baseball, we got swept last year. Yeah. Football, they've beaten us both times.
Okay. Well, team or fan base? That's the question though.
Fan base.
Fan base. I need it. I need it for the show.
Yeah, we need it. We need this. We need this. So.
Plus, there's some guys on that team that don't have the burning hate for the burnt orange or the guy running the show over there. So
yeah, I mean, there's guys on this team that never met him. They don't know a thing about it. They didn't get scarred by this. So.
I mean, look, let's ignore basketball. Even that hadn't been that many. Texas A&M doesn't lose coaches to anybody, football or baseball. We just don't. Nobody comes in here and raids our head coaches. It's never happened, and it certainly never happened. Right, going to the school in Austin. So it was bitter. It was painful. It was
DX Bible.
Treasonous. So.
I don't know,
but didn't he have a stop somewhere else? Like he left and then he went somewhere else?
I don't know. That was the 20s. I don't remember.
I'm going to look that up during the break.
All right. Regardless, I think we need it.
Yep.
Like this show needs it. This particular fan show needs it. The athletic department needs it. If they don't get it, it's going to suck, right? It's going to suck, and it's just going to add to the how loud those fans are, and they deserve it. Like they can be. They have scoreboard right now.
I don't know. I'm split on it because I understand that the fan base absolutely needs it. That's always. But I'm also split on it. You're coming off a stumble in the midweek. It's not. We're in no way, shape, or form is this a must-win series. But it's sure like I just what it could do for this team if they can go out and perform and go and win the series against an incredibly good baseball team, highly ranked baseball team. So I'm split on it. I have a hard time kind of leaning one way or the other. I mean, obviously, I want to beat Texas. I And I want those guys to beat Texas, but I want them to win a baseball series, and because that's how they're thinking of it. They're not worried about beating the orange and white. They're worried about
winning a series.
Winning a series.
Yep. All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back with more. Right now, when it comes to your money and your peace of mind, it starts with the right team. That right team is Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. They're an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. No sales commissions, no pitches, just trusted advice tailored to you. They have a team of 18 professionals, including 9 CFPs, a CFA, and a CPA, and their expertise runs deep at Paragon Financial. And their credentials matter, by the way. Visit paragon-adv.com or call them up, 979-693-3907 to schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors. Integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar, I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going, you use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results. It's Catalyst. All right, we're talking about Burlebo, the heart of Texas, more than an outdoor lifestyle brand. It's products created with you in mind. Currently, I'm wearing the performance polo, the Texas Maroon and Gray. If you look into it, you've got the state of Texas in gray, and you also got it in maroon. It's one of their highest, most popular sales that they have there. It is really nice. Comfort and versatility. You can wear it in any situation. Quick drying, fits the size. But Burlebo, they're rooted in tradition, fueled by passion for the outdoors, designs high-quality apparel that works just as hard as you do. So whether you're hitting a workout, enjoying a day of fishing, or cheering on your favorite college team, their gear is made for the athlete, the outdoorsman, and the everyday adventure. And it's really nice. I wore this one to church the other day. People talked about it. Really, my kids were like, yeah, Dad, you look pretty good today. From athletic shorts to your favorite go-to tees and performance hoodies, they have everything you want. Check out burlebo.com and find your new favorite gear. It's Burlebo for the athlete, for the outdoors, and for the family. And we're back here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio, the fan show. And Hunter, you got some news about the Texas fan during the break?
So fans of the show reached out. Thank you. He was named Scott Wilson. They were calling him a Texas baseball superfan. He was. So Scott Wilson passed away last October. Rest in peace, Scott.
Yeah. Prayers for his family.
Right, yeah.
And I wonder if anybody's taken up the mantle for him.
I don't know.
It was unique,
He
right?
was not a trash talker. He was just behind his team, right? And I'm not getting soft on Texas because I see the burnt orange. It makes me want to puke. They're arrogant. Yeah. They suck.
All right. So here's a
Having
question.
a good fan, yeah. He's good.
So it's the fan show. I think I can ask this question. It's probably Schloss, we won't say his name. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's probably that guy. But who is the most hated Texas coach ever? And if
aside from Slosh right now,
sure.
Let's take Slosh out.
Is he number one on the list of all time?
I think right now because
Mac Brown.
No,
I thought Mac was
I'm
likable.
sorry, I like Mac. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it right now. I don't care. I'm gonna get all the hate in the world. I like Mac. Now I'll tell you why I like Mac. I remember watching right after the bonfire fell. They interviewed him on TV, and Mac had genuine tears coming down his face talking about the 12 kids that died, and. From then on, I was like, you know what? I mean, he's always seemed like a nice guy. I remember talking to a buddy of mine who lived in Brenham, who said that there was a big restaurant there in Brenham, and he said he'll never forget. Mac used to come to this restaurant. He'd walk around anytime they were on the recruiting trail. He'd go around the restaurant, talk to everybody. He said somebody like Fran would go in and just sit in the back by himself, quietly have his own meal.
See, I had a
would go
problem
around.
with whether all that was sincere or not, so I didn't like him. But
I hated him during, but I'm okay with him now.
This side of the table's in agreement.
I didn't hate Mac. I'm sorry.
I
didn't
hated
hate
him
Mac.
when he was the coach.
Yeah, when he was the coach.
I'll tell you what, who my favorite Texas coach was, John Malkovich. We used to beat him like
I loved him.
We used to beat him like
he
a
should
drum.
come back. Is he still with
yeah,
us?
you couldn't hate him. Any other burns your gut hate Texas coach?
Charlie Strong was one of my favorites.
Really?
Because he was poor guy. Hey, that's when
did you hate him though?
No, I love Charlie
He's
Strong.
talking about hating.
I don't know. Schloss.
Tom Penders.
I like Tom. He was nice to me. He was nice. I mean, I dealt with him. That's a different relationship, so that's probably why.
Rick Barnes. I mean, so I didn't like
Rick Barnes. I kind of like him.
I didn't like Rick Barnes, but then as soon as he went to Tennessee, I'd always go, "Oh man, Rick Barnes and UT are having a great season." I'd send that to like my Longhorn friends, and they'd get so mad.
All right, where does Sark rank on the hate meter?
Kind of likable, but he's a Texas, so I can't like him.
I don't like Sark.
I don't like. I think he
seems
like say the words on the air.
No, it's got to be Schloss.
Tom Herman.
He was a little.
I didn't like him as a person. He
I
seems
keep
like
wanting to say it.
Yeah, I'm with you on both of those
Rhymes
two.
with slick.
Yeah.
The thing about Sark, and I don't want to talk anymore Texas because I get sick. The thing about Sark at the end of the game when he stopped his players going to the middle of the field, I liked that. Maybe I give him more points for that. But
oh yeah, it was Tom Herman that did the was making fun of the kid
backpack from
the
Missouri.
backpack thing. Yeah. So Tom Herman was Schloss. It's 100% Schloss.
All right, Cooper Patterson at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. We're going to try this out. This may be a disaster, okay? But I've asked him.
No, Cooper's going to nail it.
I've asked him to try to ask the opening question of each segment. He had to walk away and do something. So we're going to see if it works out for him. We'll see what kind of talk show host chops he's got. All right, what's your question?
I always love the fan show because it's very different perspectives than we're used to hearing. And I want to ask, me as a young student, I've seen very little of the A&M sports world, in time. So I want to ask, what is the most hostile or electric crowd you've ever seen at A&M? And I don't want you to just go Kyle Field because obviously any game at Kyle trumps any other time, but just like for that place, what is the most hostile you've seen or electric?
I feel like LSU last year was pretty hostile. Oh, 2 years ago, excuse me.
Oh, but not Kyle Field?
I mean, it can be Kyle Field.
I mean, of course, Kyle Field's going to be every one of our
For like each venue is what he's saying.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's been
TCU Super has to be probably Olsen, at least of recent date, where you can go back to when.
Yeah, and what year was we played
back
Texas in the regional? Sauce was here.
Yeah, that was 23.
That was intense. Pretty rowdy, but
John Byington.
For basketball, it's got to be the Texas game with the shot where AC Law hits the shot. That one was absolutely insane.
Yeah,
I remember a game in the during the Caruso, Daniel House, that era where we played Kentucky and we beat them here, and that was absolutely electric.
Yeah,
So for basketball, those are the two I remember from basketball. Football, golly, I mean, the list goes on.
But you're saying electric, like crazy environments, right?
Yeah. Any like, because I think of some of the games that like LSU last year was like in the game, probably the most fun I've ever had. But then Bama, I think my sophomore year, where they came and Jalen Milroe actually just whooped us. But like pre-game, that was until Texas last year, return of the rivalry. That was the loudest I'd heard in an environment. But during the game, it wasn't anything special.
Old school wise,
no, I'll tell you right now. When Bama came here for the first time after we beat them, after Johnny
2013,
when they
that
came
was crazy.
Here,
I got one.
When Mike Evans caught that 95-yard touchdown, I couldn't hear myself. Like literally, think, yell, scream, nothing. It was just absolutely bonkers.
2000 Oklahoma. Toombs dragging those Oklahoma. We lost that game, which was a bummer. That was Mark Ferris, but that was one of the loudest I've ever heard. Then of course, 2002 when we beat them, we beat Oklahoma here, and then of course the bonfire game was different. I don't know if I'd call it electric, but it was just it was an emotional, absolute roller coaster that day. And then
relative to Olson, this weekend is going to be up there.
Yeah.
2010 Nebraska is a sneaky, crazy rowdy game.
Yeah, for a 9-3 game, that was pretty intense. Yeah. So.
But yeah, I'm with Nuño. I mean, it's recency bias, but the blackout LSU 2 years ago.
Unlike any, I mean, crazy. The lights, the way everything went.
But I'm telling you, it was before. Yeah. It was on my drive to the stadium. My drive to the stadium that day felt different.
Everyone's wearing black. It looked cool. Yeah.
It was like, and the players were getting into fights before the game. It was just a different vibe for that game, more so than the Texas game, and I don't know why.
Yeah,
I like pregame scuffles.
I do too.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, there's some great ones out there. I mean, I remember the I can't remember, it was the 2007 Texas game here where the loudest I could ever remember that stadium was we were down and Draw Johnson throws a 2-point conversion to Tannehill, caught it in the corner. We tied the game, and then that was the loudest I remember the stadium. And then we kicked off, and Marquise Goodwin returned the kickoff for a touchdown. I don't remember what year that is. Maybe 2007, 2008, somewhere.
7 was McGee and Franz last year.
So maybe it was 9. Maybe it was 2009. So, but yeah, that game was absolutely insane. So I remember that one too. So
get McGee on the line. We'll get him.
Ran 35 times against Nebraska back when that meant something, son.
Did you guys see? This does not move the needle for fans or probably for you guys, but to me, it does signal, that football season is still very far away, but not that far away. We've got the spring game next Saturday, right? That's here. Yesterday they announced SEC Media Day coaches and their day. This is the natural progression as we're getting closer to the season, because it felt for a while, I was like, man, when are we going to get the football season? And does the spring game, does SEC Media Days being announced, does any of that move the needle for you guys?
Well, yeah. Heck yeah.
We're inching towards it. It's all these little milestones, and you get nuggets, and it makes you feel better. And I just saw, I get the college football playoff emails, I'm sure you do. And Vegas is the championship game location this year, which is awesome, right? And so they're already ramping up for activities in Vegas for that.
Yeah, for me, it's like when they announce the SEC Media Days, that's when it starts to feel real. And then when media days come, so it's weird. When we first came to the conference, I just locked in. I watched all of the media days, like all the days, all the interviews, all of them. Now I'm just like, I'll get the highlights on the back end.
Yeah.
I can't watch Paul Feinbaum for that long.
I like spring game. Especially now. The one thing, what I like about the spring game now is seeing the portal guys come in.
There's so many new guys we don't know.
A lot of new guys, and so being able to see them, I know glimpses. Spring game's not but seeing little bits of glimpses and stuff like that is usually kind of cool. So it's just hey, football. We still have a football team. Remember this in the middle of spring. So
we do have a football team. Did you guys hear AT and myself going back and forth on on Big Ten versus SEC?
Heard a little bit of it.
Yeah.
No. But my point was the bottom of the SEC.
But I'm with you.
In the middle of the SEC is significantly better than the Big Ten. He did bring up some good examples, South Florida beating Florida, because I was like, you just take a 4-8 team from each or whatever.
All right, here's my problem with that one. I heard that, and I remember immediately going, okay, I get that South Florida beat Florida.
Broken.
I understand that, but they had a bet. I mean, Florida was at the end of the rope coaching wise, but you go ask any NFL scout to go look at those two teams and tell me which team they're going to pick apart, which team where you're going to actually take guys into the NFL. The talent on Florida is twice that of what South Florida has. And so, that's what everyone seems to not get. The Big 12, all that. I mean, you got teams that can beat other teams. They're better coached. They come into it prepped. In the day of NIL, I don't know if these guys are locked in to winning every game, especially once the team's kind of mailed it in and they've gotten beat by other SEC teams and whatnot. But, I mean, just watch this NFL draft coming up and tell me how many SEC players go compared to the Big Ten. I mean, week in and week out, you go and play Mississippi State. Mississippi State, even when they're bad, is going to beat you up far more than a Baylor
Rutgers, Maryland.
Yeah, just terrible teams.
Yeah. What I'm going to tell you though is there's more talent coming out of the Big Ten than there used to be.
But they've narrowed the gap, especially with the NFL draft.
They've narrowed the gap when it comes to the draft, and some of that's just the obvious outcomes and repercussions of NIL.
And they have like 27 teams, so that skews the numbers.
That also, But and there's obviously some big time name programs in the Big Ten. I mean, there always have been, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, if you want
top to bottom,
So the conference closest to the SEC is the Big Ten. I mean, that's inarguable.
No, I agree with that part. It's just top to bottom. I mean, their top end is really, really good. I mean,
better than the SEC's top end recently.
Yeah. I mean, they just went. I mean, they're a team that no one would have ever thought would win a national championship, which gives everybody should give everybody a little bit of hope.
Well, I think that's the difference, though. If let's say you're recruiting in the Big Ten, recruit says, "I want to be in the Big Ten. Am I going to go to Ohio State or Purdue?" Well, Ohio State's going to get the guy, right? But in the SEC, am I going to go to Bama or Ole Miss or A&M or I'm saying I think it's different.
I think the thing too is that the days of due to NIL, the days of a player of a kid choosing a school based on the school itself, I think those days are for the most part gone.
Right.
And I mean, you don't have the pride. I mean, like the kids. Yes, I get that the facilities probably add to it, and the fan base, and those types of things that the kids used to choose to make those decisions. But now it's based on dollars. I mean, if you look at Cam Coleman alone, Cam Coleman wanted to go to Bama, all right? Cam Coleman wanted to go to Bama. Bama was his choice. That's where he wanted to go. But his agent takes him around and starts shopping. He comes here, liked it here. We made an offer. But still wanted to go to Bama. So they go to Texas. Texas goes in, makes him the exact same offer we made him. Okay, is this okay? But I still want to go to Bama. And so the negotiation part, they go to Tech. Tech, I think, offers him about a little more than half of what we did, or us plus half of what we offered, right? And so, but they were doing this to play off Bama. Well, Bama goes, and Bama's like, we can't pay you. We can't pay you even what these guys are paying.
Right.
And he was about to take a pay cut, but his agent calls back to Texas and says, hey, here's what we're about to sign with Bama. What are you going to do? And Texas doubled their offer. So of course, I mean, if anybody doubles the offer, you got on the table, and no one would match it. So of course he chose it. But he wanted to go play for Bama. It's not Texas. This has nothing to do with that. He wanted to play for Bama, but Texas made him such a much better offer that now he's playing for a team he didn't want to play for a fan base he didn't want to play for. And so the idea of it having anything to do with school pride anymore, I mean, that was the whole point of us as fans. We wanted our school to be best.
Let's hit a break here. If you're looking for a reason to move back to Aggieland, or you already live in Aggieland and need a new opportunity, check out the Association of Former Students. They're seeking to hire professionals to join their team, and there's typically openings in several departments, from fundraising to communications to sales, you name it. They're the nation's premier alumni association and the oldest organization supporting that Aggie network. They play a part in every Aggie story from Howdy to Here. Don't miss opportunities to help out the association with Howdy Socials, Aggie Reading Day, class reunions, and everything in between. Join a team that exemplifies those Aggie core values of excellence, integrity, leadership, loyalty, respect, and selfless service, all in support of that worldwide Aggie network. If you're interested in joining the team or sharing with someone that would be a great fit, please visit tx.ag/association jobs to apply and get more information on each position. It's the Association of Former Students. Hey everyone, David Nuño here of TexAgs Live. I want to introduce you to the team at Holistic Planning. Got Jason Barber here, Taylor Pankratz, and also Paul Meredith. Jason, I want to start off with you. What really sets Holistic Planning apart from the others?
Yeah, so what makes us different is most financial advisors stop at investment management. On the other hand, holistic planning, we manage investments, taxes, and estate planning all on one team, all underneath one roof.
Now, Taylor, when everything is coordinated like that, it really helps the bottom line, doesn't it?
It really does. When your investments and taxes are working together, you stop leaving money on the table and keep more of what's yours.
Paul, holistic planning is trying to expand as well.
That's true. We just opened our Houston office, and we're looking for people who feel like their advisor isn't seeing the full picture, because that's exactly what we fix.
And Jason, there's other opportunities beyond that.
Definitely. If you're a financial advisor and you want to join the Holistic Planning team, we're looking to add 50 teams in the next 5 to 10 years. So check out holisticplanning.com/advisors.
All right, so if you want a team that actually coordinates everything, go to holisticplanning.com. Aggies, this one is worth it. And we're back. Matt Browning got worked up like OB got worked up earlier. So tell me the story. You were in the lobby. Texas A&M tweets out a photo of just somebody's eyes.
There's a photo. Texas A&M Athletics put out a photo. It said coming soon. It was just somebody's eyes. And it's like, who is this? And it was the they kind of superimposed it on the video board, the jumbotron in the stadium. I was like, who is this? And Zane walked by and I asked him. I said, he looked at it for a second. He goes, oh, that's Messi. And I said, oh, okay. And Bronny hears this and goes, you don't know who Messi is? I go, no, dude, it was just his eyes. And if I'd seen his face, I didn't know who Messi was, but by his eyes, I don't know.
Well, I think, as I told you, I think context matters. Mm-hmm. So if you're in a soccer stadium and you see Messi's eyes, I think you'd figure it out.
I would be like, that looks like Messi.
But if you saw him at an opera show and they showed Messi's eyes, you don't know who it is.
Everybody on the comments thought it was Johnny, just because it's in Kyle Field. That's what you immediately think.
So let's play the game. All right. We got some pictures, I believe, of just eyes, and we have to guess who it is. Jerry Seinfeld. Easy. Now, you gave me too much there. These inserts in the back are terrible. LeBron James.
I was going to say like.
Jackie Gleason. I don't know.
No, that's
Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson. There you go.
That is Nicholson.
Soccer guy.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like it's different.
Like if it was George Strait, right? If it was George Strait's picture, I think everyone here would know who that is.
But if you're at a Kanye show and they did George Strait's eyes, do you think the audience could be like, "That's George Strait"?
I don't think the majority of the audience would, but I think like actually, you know what? I think everyone would because George Strait's amazing.
You know, I thought something interesting that was going on earlier today between Steve McGee and OB about was it buy sell trade, that thing they do?
Yeah, buy sell, hold.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So OB he took the Rolling Stones.
He bought the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, and he got very worked up afterwards when over here.
I get it. But they're like octogenarians now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go watch them.
Yeah.
Who were the other two?
Beyonce
Morgan Wallen and Beyonce.
And it wasn't who you'd want to see; is who would fill up the most.
Who would
get the biggest credit? Kyle Field.
I'm sure it'd probably be Beyonce.
I think Beyonce would get the biggest
credit.
credit.
I think it'd be Beyonce. Yeah. I think it goes Beyonce, Morgan Wallen, and probably Dennis Stones.
Yeah,
honestly.
I mean
in 2026.
In 2026. Yeah.
And I think Morgan Wallen sucks, but I think he would still beat the Rolling Stones.
I think Morgan Wallen's great.
Here we go again. He is not. That's not country music. I'm sorry.
It's music.
music.
I'm with you on that one.
Browning's in a poopy pants.
Well,
mood
big
today.
weekend. Enjoy your ring days and your parents' weekends
And the
your chili
Masters.
fests and your
Oh, Masters.
Texas-
Yeah, who you got? Who you got in the Masters? Quick.
I have no idea.
Who you got in the Masters?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm going Bryson.
Bryson.
I'm calling Bryson. That's shocking, but I'm
Well,
calling
I'll go
Bryson.
Rory. I'll go
Even over
Rory.
Scotty. Oh, Rory.
Back-to-back.
Defending.
I think he made some headlines this week, I think. I won't get into that. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching and listening. We'll see you mañana.